What's happening, guys? What's going on, motherfuckers? Oh, hey, it is the vodka stream, but, well, technically we got a little bit of something else going on today. As you can see right here, I got some Buffalo Trace bourbon. It's the bourbon stream. It's a bourbon stream today, but hey, you know, special occasion, man. It's going to be a crazy weekend. My God. Tell you what, what's going on out there? How's everybody doing? Yes, legend. Hey, what's going on, Dave? Of course, I got the Giants game on right now, and they're shitting the bed. It's tied 2-2. My God, what's going on? Combo movie watching, Hidden Shadows. What's up? What's up, Toby? Hey, Leon, what's going on? Marcus, Mr. Rushnan, how you doing? Adam, okay, yeah, you get that out. Jeez, shut up with your about time, Mike G. Come on. Bourbon. What's going on for you, Jason? It's a bourbon stream tonight, motherfucker. What's going on, Sean? Good morning. How are you? Yes. That's right. It's going to get a little wicked tonight. It's going to be, it should be good times. Oh, this is what I love. This is the sound that you love to hear right here, guys. Oh, you got to love that. You just got to love that. The hell is on my glass? I don't know what that is. Anyways, there you go. Good old Buffalo Trace. Kentucky gal like you? That's right. Cheers, guys. Happy Friday. Merry DC Fandom Eve, man. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be absolutely batshit crazy tomorrow. I mean, I tell you what, like I said, my schedule. So here's my planned schedule. Pretty much what I've been saying on Film Junkee Live. I'm just going to do a pre-show tomorrow at 8:30, which I should have probably set right now. Man, that's hopefully we don't get too crazy tonight, or else it's going to be a struggle getting up tomorrow. That's for sure. But I'm going to have my pre-show at 8:30, and then I'm going to do a stream after Zack Snyder's stream, and then I'm going to do a stream after the Batman, kind of break that down, and then I'm going to go on Real Motion, which I think those guys are going to be joining tonight for sure. Garza and Everett will probably get in here tonight. Hey, what's going on, Jay? It's going to be a really good time. Big time. Can't wait. So I think I'm going to have 3 streams tomorrow, and then I might show up on other streams. I don't know. If anybody will have me, I don't know if I have time because there's so much stuff to look over that I want to be there for all the panels. So it's going to be kind of difficult to, like, you know, if somebody who's like throws like, hey, come on my stream. I might not be able to make it on there, but I guess we'll see. Like the shirt? It's another new nerdy shirt. That's right, guys. Do you realize I'm this old? I graduated high school in 1985. Hill Valley. Alumni. Come on. The Bulldogs. Don't I look great for my age? Yes. Anyways. Just saying. Oh, you had to do that, Jay. You had to do that to break my heart, but it's okay. It's okay. You could say go Dodgers. It's fine. It's fine. They got the best record in baseball, I think, right now. Are you ready, Jose? Hey, the Giants actually been they're kicking some Angels' ass at least, you know? That's all I got to say. Yeah, bat fleck. I mean, shit. I mean, now that we know he's coming back, remember I said, I'm like, can he just show up? Can he just show up for a panel? I don't care what panel. I mean, it could be the Batman Legacy panel. Could be that. I wanted him to show up for Zack Snyder's panel, but now it looks like he might show up for the Flash panel, and maybe Michael Keaton will. Maybe they'll show up for 2. Michael Keaton and Ben Affleck might be showing up for 2 for all we know. That'd be fucking sweet, man. Jeez. Get that COVID out of my throat. Oh, we got Jody's titties here. This guy. He did a deep fake of me, and that was very strange. What did you prepare for, fandom, Dave? I didn't prepare for shit. I just prepared to be highly caffeinated all day. So like I said, I'm going to try to attempt to do 3 streams. I'm going to do a pre-show stream, a post Zack Snyder stream and a post Batman stream, and then I'm going to go on Real Emotion. So it's going to be absolutely batshit crazy. Are there any live panels? I don't know if there's any live panels. It almost seems like everything's pre-recorded because everybody's already like teasing their shit. It's interesting. Like it doesn't look like the Suicide Squad one is. Yeah, I don't know. I definitely don't know. Oh, don't even get me started about that IndieWire review of Tenet. It's humorless. I forgot that sorry that Christopher Nolan disappointed you with not putting in, his normal comedies. All the other comedies that he has have been like stellar, just comedy classics. But Tenet apparently isn't good enough for IndieWire. Fuck those guys. Fuck a lot of guys right now. Okay, fuck these fucking pussies who just don't. Okay, if your movie theater is taking the careful precautions, they're not in like the big, huge hotspots, which I think the hotspots are still it's kind of going down. It's not where we were. But if your theater is willing to do that and your theater is like, hey, all right, hey, let's do this. You don't have to go, but don't like talk shit about directors and talk shit about people who want to go to the movies. Okay, I'll gladly wear a mask. If I have to wear anything else, I'll wear the fucking hazmat suit. I don't care. I just want to go to the movies. But don't shame people. I'm tired of this fucking shaming shit. Like, oh my God, if I go to the movies, I'm going to cause the apocalypse. Okay? Scott Derrickson? Love Scott Derrickson, but fucking A, what a pussy. Sorry. The bourbon, when I drink bourbon, I think I get a little more feistier with bourbon than I do vodka. Vodka makes me a little more relaxed. I just get a little more relaxed. I just kind of, settle in. I'm just like, oh. But bourbon, I'm like, fuck yeah, bitch. Sorry. I'm just kind of going off tonight. I didn't mean to. I just saw Scott Derrickson's fucking tweet, and I'm like, dude, really? He's just like telling people, don't go see Tenet or any other movie in the theater. It's like, shut up. Appreciate you sticking up for Nolan. Yeah, no. I mean, Nolan is trying to save the very business you are in, Scott Derrickson. You're a film director. Your business is dying. Okay? You should be you should be backing it up, man. It's just like, geez. And I'm just saying, yeah, that was like a really shitty Russian accent. Sorry. Yeah. That was a really shitty Russian accent. I'm sorry. But no, it's just I just saw the tweet, and he's been like that like this whole time. He's like, he's been like he's been one of those end of the world guys. So it's kind of like, I appreciate the man. I like his movies. I'm looking forward to what he's doing next. What is Scott Derrickson doing next? I forgot. Didn't something just get announced? He's doing something. I totally forgot. You guys will let me know. But yeah, you heard reviews of Nolan's. Yeah, I know Nolan's new comedy. Yeah. It gave me an idea. It actually gave me an idea for a video that I'm going to try to do this weekend. There's just so much madness going on this week, and I just hopefully I'll get around to it. Oh yeah, Matt Goldberg, fucking of Collider. Fuck that asshole. He's all like, yeah, it's because these guys naturally stay inside. They have no lives. Their whole life is inside. Okay, introverts or whatever. But they're kings online, of course. Being part of Collider and everything like that. And they're all soft and gushy and fucking beta, it's like, and so like, yeah. So the movie industry's dying, it's dying. They're trying to like, of course, save it with streaming and stuff like that, which of course is helping in a bit. But yeah, these guys are like totally congratulating the fact that he said that Tenet got lukewarm reviews. Last I saw, it was like an 88% of fucking Rotten Tomatoes. And you know how much I hate to look at that fucking percentage. But still, there's been a lot of great reviews. And it's just like, what are you guys thinking? Yes, I know we can blame the MCU. Now, I'm not blaming the MCU. I'm blaming the people for being stupid. Okay? Okay, the MCU is one thing, but a lot of us can just be like, hey, the MCU is whatever. It can be popcorn, shit, whatever. It's not all great. Fine. But it's not going to fucking brainwash me into thinking that every movie has to have ha-has. Like with every scene. Sorry, I'm really going off tonight, man. I'm getting it all out before Garza comes on and just fucking drops, atom bombs everywhere. I had to get all my frustrations out. Jeez, I think I laughed a lot. Yeah, with Memento, right? Yes, but I think the funniest scene that Christopher Nolan ever wrote was when in Inception, where what's her name like commits suicide. That's pretty good. It's pretty good. Jodie thinks Ben Batman will die in the Flash movie. That's going to be interesting. I think Didn't Grace also say something? She said something too, like that this will be the farewell to Ben Affleck, Ben Affleck's Batman, and then they'll replace him with like Batgirl or something like that. Ugh. So I don't know. Who knows what's going to happen? I really don't know what's going to happen. I hope not. I really hope that this is just setting the stage for Justice League 2, or shall I say season 2? I don't know. So then he can go out in that blaze of glory, or, you know, and then I still want him to do his thing, whether it's animation, live action, I don't care. If he's not going to do it live action, do it animation. Okay. The whole Batman versus I almost said Dark Side. That'd be pretty cool though. Deathstroke, you know, that's all I want. That's all I need. You know, if it's not live action, fine. Let it be animation too. You send me the link and send me the link and not let Garza in. I'll try to keep him tame. Don't worry. Try to keep him tame, but I don't know. He's got the bourbon flowing through him too. Sup, Dave? Loving the new setup. Also, where'd you get the neon Batman BVS sign? I got it off of Amazon, man. Dude, I've been on an Amazon tear ever since the pandemic. It's just like, all right, well, Amazon. I'm getting like stuff that I need. Like I got fucking butt wipes. I got those dude wipes because you can't find for like the longest time because everybody was like hawking the fucking toilet paper. So I couldn't get any fucking wipies, man. I mean, come on. Yeah, you have to have a little extra, guys. Okay. You can't just do the toilet paper. You got to get something in there that's a little moist. I know this sounds weird, but you know, you got to get something that's, you know, cleans it up a little better. Right. So I had to order like a fucking multi-pack of dude wipes, but I'm like ordering just stuff that I can't find in the store now. Thawne killing Affleck's Batman. Ooh, that'd be interesting. Ugh. I don't know. There's so many things, so many possibilities. So many possibilities. You're still on that? Why are we still on that? Randolph said W is going to be Flashboy type film. Well, now she says Batfleck. Okay. So I guess we'll see. See, that's just the one thing that I'm just getting tired of. It's one thing that I'm getting tired of is the fact that it's like, I don't know. It's just like you can always tell when somebody either hates somebody or they love somebody so much that one thing will absolutely destroy. They'll use that one thing. Oh, you were wrong that one time, so you're wrong about every single thing. Or you were right that one time, so you were right about every little thing. Can we stop that? Okay, because it just shows bias and it shows tribalistic nature, which I'm tired of seeing. Jesus Christ. It's just that's what I get. That's what I get annoyed about. You know, nobody's gonna bat 1,000 with some of this shit. They're just not. You know, and you know, like I said, people like love it. It's weird when I see the love hate for Grace because I'll see people who like literally like have made fun of her a lot, whether it was in video form or on Twitter. Now all of a sudden they're like begging for her to like, you know, hey, I want what do you got next? What other info you got? Tell me. It's like, wait a minute, like a year ago you were hating on this girl. And I'm still where I stand. I still respect her. Cool. She has some information, mate. Cool. I don't watch her videos because I frankly can't stand her. Sorry, Garza. See, now Garza's going to come in guns blazing because I made fun of his girl. Jeez. I know, man. I'm feeling very preachy tonight. Jeez. 30? No. Never go 30 frames. Never go full 30 frames. But yeah, I don't know. But can we just stop that? I mean, I get it. She said that one time, but it's over with. She was wrong. Move on. Move on. Okay, Wonder Woman is not going to be Flashpoint. It's not going to be a Flashpoint movie. It's okay. But she's been right about other things, and then she's been wrong about other things too. It's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. You've been constant in your head. I know. I've been consistent with my hatred. It's like I've always been like, okay, these people, some people annoy me, and that's it. You know. Shit, yeah, if you like her, that's fine. Like, I've never said, don't watch her. She's full of shit. I'm like, if you like her, you like her. You know? It's fine. Yeah, if it's fine. It's totally fine if you watch her videos. I don't if you watch Campia, I don't care, you know? I'm still waiting for him to pull back the whole I'm Robert Pattinson asshole. I still that whole little spiel was kind of like, what are you thinking there, man? What are you thinking there? Come on there, Johnny, stop it. But you know, it's just a weird world, you know, when you've been in there. What you got on your glass? It says boozy. It spells out boozy. I briefly dated a girl for about a month, and she bought me this glass. That's what I got out of the little short-term relationship. So cheers, guys. Yeah. I don't even think it was a month. I think we went on like 3 dates. And on the second date, she bought me that glass. And then it went all down here from there because, well, cuckoo, cuckoo. Anyways, yeah, Campia's brain. I don't like watching them either. Yeah, that's right. A lot of people are excited to watch this stuff, Infinity. I'm about to start inviting the boys in, and we'll see what's going on here. Like I said, no special guests. This was just going to be like a panel. It's almost like it's pretty much you're going to see a lot of the people that are going to be on Real Emotion tomorrow. So it's kind of like a pre-show with that. So salud, broham. So yes, and I kept the glass. It's a good glass there, Brendan. This was like a year ago, by the way. That's like last October. You know, of course, the glass. This is a good glass. I like this glass. It's a freaking good glass. Glassed. Yeah. Should I invite Campia? I don't know. Is Amanda even here? Usually she's here. I'm surprised I haven't seen her pop up. Thank you, Jay. My day was not bad actually. Work was pretty decent. Got through it. Got the work I needed to get done because I'm ahead of my shit. You know, I'm heading this project. It's pretty good. It's going pretty smoothly. Not on our end, not on the end of our customer, but you know, that's all I'll say about that. But and then I got off work. It's hot as fuck in California. It really sucks, like sweltering. It feels like we're in goddamn Florida or you know, back east somewhere. It really sucks. But I got off work. I went and got my tire. I went to the store, got some of this. Went to the tire place right down the street because I had a slow leak. I had a nail in my tire. They patched it up all for free. And then got some dinner. I went to this little burger place that I haven't tried yet. It was all right. I was like, fuck it. I mean, you know, I feel like a burger and fries. So I just went there, went to this little hole in the wall shit place. It was all right. It wasn't anything too special. I was kind of disappointed to be not, I'm not going to lie, but it still filled me up. And then I came home and just kind of did my little breakdown video of the fucking Zack Snyder's Justice League. Hopefully, he's trying, guys. Snyder is trying. Okay. Hey, if Fatal J shows up, I'll gladly invite him. Don't worry. If he shows up in the live chat and he's like, "Hey, get me on this shit," I'll invite him in. Don't worry, there, Fourth. But goddamn, how about that little tease, right? I thought we were gonna get some mega Batman, like, you know, Batman Parademon action, but seeing fucking Flash in the Speed Force, in Zack Snyder's Speed Force, my God, gorgeous. I cannot wait to see what that looks like. Oh, you know, I really cannot wait to see what that looks like. Holy crap. That just looks so gorgeous. So gorgeous. So yeah, I can't wait for that trailer. Excuse me. Calhoun. Still 2-2. Still 2-2. What's up, Mr. Laugh Now, Cry Later, Mr. Darren? What the fuck? Zero. I know. He's like saving Batman for, I don't know. I don't know why he's saving Batman. I don't get it. What's going on, Rosemary? You made it. So I know. And well, there's not going to be a third teaser. Well, the third teaser is going to be the full teaser, the full trailer and stuff. So it's going to be a special day tomorrow, guys. All right. So let me go ahead and start. Oops. Let me start inviting some people here. You know what? Let me do it on here instead. Let me do it on the laptop. So it's because I know like the screen helps with my lighting. But yeah, tomorrow's going to be just absolutely batshit crazy. It's going to be batshit crazy. It's just going to be interesting how everything goes. What's going on with this? Oh. Yeah, see, I know Nicotina is doing something. I might show up on his tomorrow. I might just show up, you know, and say hi to everybody. But there might be some people that might not like me on there. Oh, man. I'm not trying to create enemies, guys. if anybody knows anything about me, I'm just a guy that speaks his mind, likes to joke around. It's all in good fun, all in great fun. Who else am I? Okay. I see. I always get our feature presentation song. I always get that stuck in my head. Any rumblings you've heard about the 2 mystery panels? I don't think they're even there anymore. I mean, I was always betting money on. Excuse me. I was always betting money on Henry Cavill getting his Superman film announced. That's what I was hoping for. It seems like that would be the obvious, but I mean, I don't know. I haven't heard what they could be. And I was hoping the other one would be Batman Beyond, Michael Keaton, since he's pretty much confirmed for the Flash. Yeah, I mean, it just seems likely. Why wouldn't there be? I mean, maybe he'll show up on the Black Adam panel. Maybe he's going to have a part. I don't know. Everything's so up in the air. But if I had a bet on both the movies, wow, Nolan is actually trending right now. Interesting. No, but if I had to put money on it, I would say Henry Cavill would get his Superman film, but I don't know. I just don't know. I haven't heard anything. I'm just going by speculation, by my own little logic kind of thing. Wait, did I do the right one? I hope I did. Yeah, I did. Okay, just making sure. It'd be nice if certain someone would also show up too to ZackDome. There's only one mystery one now. Others Titans. Yeah, that's interesting because I think I know which one you're talking about, but I'm not too sure if that's just like a DC Comics thing or what. So I don't know. It's all very interesting. We'll talk about it when people get on this thing, which I got one guy already here. Let me set up the tweet to let everybody know that I'm not alone anymore. Okay. So there you go. Oh, see, and then I almost tweet out that would be embarrassing if I tweeted out the link for everybody to get here. One of these days I am going to do that though. I'm just going to have an open fucking vodka stream and just let fans come in. We'll chat it up a little bit. All right. So let's get Mr. Scott McClellan in here. What's up, man?
Hey,
there he is. What's up? Always the first one. You're always on time.
It's what I do.
It's what you do.
It is what I do, and I actually just jumped off of a special Patreon chat that we sent out a link to all of the Squadcast Media patrons. So, hey, have a Zoom call with the network. And so nice. I saw the link, and I was like, okay, guys, peace out. You can go find me on Dave's channel.
That's pretty awesome. Yeah, I saw you I think Tim tweeted out something. It was all you guys that were on something, right? Or was that something else?
Well, that was last night, right before we recorded.
Okay.
Right before we recorded our Rocketeer review, we did a patron-only video chat of 4 hosts talking about all, just some things that maybe came up yesterday.
A couple little things. I mean,
a couple little things.
Yeah, I only had an emergency Film Junkee Live that I had to do because there was so much crap to talk about. And I see you have a little co-host there.
I do have a little co-host.
Look at him, precious. How's he doing?
Wearing, by the way, I'll see if I can get I'm just going to take the webcam off of.
Do it.
I'm going to do it right here because this guy is sporting. Not only is he completely adorable, Mommy put him in his Justice League onesie.
Oh, look at that. He's ready for tomorrow, right?
He is all in for fandom.
Yes, he is ready for tomorrow. Good. Teaching him young. That's the way you're
supposed
to
believe it.
Man, get that kid nerdy right off the bat. I love it. All right. So we also, so now we got somebody else backstage that's going to join. Let's see. Let me tweet out the thing here. But we'll talk about the stuff that happened yesterday. I'm curious I've heard little things what you thought about yesterday, Scott. And I know you were probably blown away just like everybody else was. So we'll talk about that. You better believe it.
Jeez. But I did want to confirm. They were right. The only secret panel that's remaining, it is a comics panel.
Yeah, that's somebody actually asked me that in my DMs. They're like, "Hey, did they put one back?" I'm like, "No, that's been there, and it says comics, so it has nothing to do with that." I mean, hopefully they still bring out the surprises, but surprise, Mr. John Aaron Garson's here. Oh, bring it down! Oh, look at that. Are you wearing a Black Adam shirt?
I am, man. You know, I went to go get my bourbon today, and the guy at the registration, what the fuck, cashier, sorry, the cashier was like, "Oh, dude, is that nice Black Adam shirt?" And I was like, "Oh, thanks, man." He was like, "Dude, Wonder Woman, that is a badass tattoo." I was like, "Thanks." I go, "Did you hear about?" He said something about Affleck or something like that. And I was like, "Yeah, dude, you excited about that?" He goes, "Hell yeah, I am." I go, "The Snyder Cut, dude. I'm telling you." He goes, "Oh, really?" I go, "It's gonna be the shit. Just wait for it next year. It's gonna be amazing." He goes, "All right, dude." And then I tweeted that GIF out, like, yeah.
Well, it was really funny because I actually, when my oldest was having a play date in the backyard with the neighbors, and they were saying, because after, getting students this week, they were like, "So what are you doing tomorrow?"
Wow.
I said, I'm treating myself. I'm going to be in front of a computer for 8 hours straight. And then I'm going to be on, I'm going to be on the Real in Motion roundtable tomorrow night. And I was just, and so I was like, okay, whenever the Snyder Cut comes up, it's, how much of a quarter do you want to put in that jukebox? And so it's like, how can I do this in 60 seconds or less? And I just pulled up the teaser that Zach dropped today. And because he was like, "Well, is it like a fan thing? Is it like is it really going to be like a movie?" And I said, let me show you 30 seconds. And she just went, oh.
That's all you need.
All you gotta do is show the tip.
That's it. That's it. And then
by the way, Scott, are you actually in school? Like you're teaching?
Yes. I am in the building.
That's dangerous, man.
Well, it's called I Want to Have a Job. And so
I get that, but God, dude.
Yeah. I'm masked up and ready to roll.
Biohazmat suit is what I do.
I know, jeez.
Like, fuck you kids. Hey, Chris wants it.
Hey, there's a young one. There's a young one there, man.
Oh, it's the baby.
Like,
look.
What's going on, Chris?
This one has about the same hairline as Chris does.
Oh, isn't that adorable? Yes, getting there.
Much cuter.
Oh, come on, Chris.
I don't know. I think some people would disagree. You should really turn on your hot dog sign, though. You got to turn that thing on. You're not going to turn on the hot dog.
All right.
You got to make sure you turn that hot dog on, man.
Always bring the hot dog, Chris.
It's part of your brand now.
Don't forget about the hot dog.
Yeah, it's part of your brand now, dude.
Yeah.
There it is. Well, cheers, guys.
We all drinking Friday. We all drinking dark.
Yeah. I got my scotch.
I got the scotch. That's good enough, man. One bourbon, one scotch, one beer.
Oh, we were supposed to bring bourbon. I wasn't.
Nah, it's all good.
Oh, I have Bullet Rye whiskey.
I don't really care. I bought some Buffalo Trace today for this weekend because special.
Yeah.
So why not?
I'm drinking scotch right out of the bottle. Yeah.
It's kind of weird because it's almost like it's like an anticipation of shit that we know. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of weird.
Really
It's like I'm excited for everybody else to find out the things that we kind of all share with each other and we kind of know. But at the same time, there's also a little bit of stuff that we don't know.
Oh yeah,
we're going, man. It literally is a question mark. And I think you guys are talking about that comic thing. I'm pretty sure that Alex Ross has something to do with Green Lantern. And that's what that surprises, because he's tweeting it out.
That little tweet, and then he removed it, and then somebody, I think it was Nate, who shows up in the live chat. He tweeted that out, or he mentioned it, and then all of a sudden Alex Ross mentioned the screenshot. It was like, what? Or something like that. I'm like, what the hell does Alex Ross know? Oh. What does Alex Ross know? Unrelated. Thankfully, Garza is here. New Tenet trailer just dropped during what? A new Tenet trailer just dropped? Shit.
Whoa.
Jeez.
That's interesting.
I mean, they already whatever.
I know.
I mean, they have how many fucking trailers do they need, dude?
I know.
All I know is that I've my theaters opened yesterday.
Oh, there you go.
And so I'm playing I'm playing the card game because, it's 40% capacity. You have to wear a mask. Mm-hmm. I've already looked at it. When you select a seat, they take out like the 5 seats in front of you and like 2 seats to your left and 2 seats to your right. So it's all based on which seat you pick as to which seats automatically become unavailable. So you better believe that, I could go see New Mutants, but I'm like, I think I can wait on that one. But it's because it's like I'm cashing my chips in for Tenet. Like, that's when I go.
That's a movie that you have to see in the cinema. I mean, it's Christopher Nolan. He makes movies to have that cinematic experience. We got Mr. Stephen Colbert's made it.
Hey, that's like a
Hey,
different
looks
lighting
different.
setup, man.
Well, he's
Yeah, this is
quote
not my
unquote
house.
got internet.
Yeah.
No, it's not
Dude,
my
that's
house.
such a shock to me.
He's
Wow.
not at his house this time.
I don't give a fuck where he's at. Okay? I don't care. If
Welcome,
he's there,
welcome,
if there's
welcome to the stream,
if
Steven.
there's some,
Thank you.
Yeah, if there's some fucking quote unquote natural disaster, fuck
Yeah.
off. I don't believe it.
Dude,
I know
Fake
because the
news.
national news didn't cover it. Otherwise, you'd know
I
about
know.
it.
I know. How did nobody talk about it? Like everyone was like, it's just.
I don't
It's
know.
up
Well,
there.
I found out from people on Twitter that apparently, not this specifically, but disasters of this scale seem to happen more often than people realize, and it just usually doesn't get covered. Someone from New York said it happened. Someone from Washington State said it happened, where like they'll just lose power for like a couple weeks due to some big storm. And it's like a few 100,000 people are impacted, and the news is just like, "Did you see what Trump tweeted today?"
Yeah,
And
that's all they care about. Oh, he misspelled a word on his tweet, and they go
Yeah.
on for like 4 hours about that, while
it's
people are
like,
like,
"Hi, we haven't had power for 11 days." Like,
Jesus Christ, it's ridiculous.
which like I'm fine because like I have family I could come to a few hours away, and my house is like livable still. It's just kind of like glamping, but I mean there's people who like don't have more than like a day's worth of food at a time because they're like they're cash poor or whatever, and so it's kind of a hard time for them. So there's like really cool stuff going on around town for like bunch of restaurants. Like this guy that owns a barbecue place just like started feeding his neighborhood.
Oh, that's cool.
And like refusing money. So you see a lot of cool stuff like that happening.
That's great.
But it's like why is this not like getting more coverage? Because we had 500,000 people lost power during the storm, and then for the first almost a full week there was I think it was like the first 4 days or so there was 250,000 people ish that didn't have it back, and we're down to like 10% of people, I think, obviously including me. I'm going to be in that smallest percentile, I guess. And people haven't even started realizing yet that even if the power company turns their power back on, probably if a tree fell on their power line, they need their masthead on their house replaced. And the power company's not going to tell them that because that's your job, not the power company's job. And
because it's on your property.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the power company, like, I saw this coming and I was like, oh, they don't want to be the ones to deliver that news. They want to be like, we did our job. It's your problem now. And so there's going to be electricians that like, I called one place and they're like, yeah, we're scheduling 3 weeks out right now.
Christ.
What? So
Wow.
it's insane.
Damn.
Well, whatever. You didn't join us last night, so I don't really care.
Such a dick. Well, whatever.
Glad you can join us.
I'm glad
here.
you and your family are all safe, but
Yeah.
you're an asshole for not showing up last night. Okay?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say. I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
I just-
the news cares
anyways.
about Affleck coming back as Batman. But they
That's
don't
all
care
it is.
about
That's
Yeah.
all we care about. But cheers, guys. Happy Friday.
Yeah.
Happy
Yeah.
Friday.
You asked, okay. Oh, he's got the beer. Steven's got the beer. for
Okay,
us,
so we got
now
the
full on-
bourbon, we got the scotch, and we got the beer. So hey, fucking
Yeah,
let's play that
My
song.
brother gets back. I'll have to ask him if he's got bourbon somewhere. I didn't want to go snooping through his liquor
Eh,
cabinet.
No bourbon.
No bourbon. I'm the one without bourbon.
so what do you guys?
So can I ask this question?
Hold on, Garth. What would you guys think about this that showed up today?
Oh, that
Oh,
means
yeah.
they're filming, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How much can they show? I mean, I think we're just going to see a lot of Boss
Well,
Logic.
I mean, they
right?
they could just
CGI
show
shit.
they showed this, which is kind of
Yeah.
cool.
Is that
That's
Boss
dope.
Logic?
That is Boss Logic. Yeah.
Is it Boss Logic?
I think so.
Really? I thought he only had a gig with Marvel.
No, because he did the
No,
original
no.
Black
Did he?
Adam.
That's right, he did,
Yeah.
huh?
He did the Superman that's
Yeah.
hovering over Black Adam too. That's why
Okay,
Mhm.
so there you go.
Superman in.
I mean, looks cool to me. I mean, I love David F. Sandberg's tweet when he was like, "Hey, well, we got more than
Yeah.
we got 5 people, and we got cool capes or something like that." It's like
Stylized.
I love
did?
stylized capes. So I love that guy. I
Oh.
respect that man. I love that man. He's so
I
fucking
miss
funny.
so much.
But I mean, yeah, I mean, The Rock looks pretty. He looks huge and he looks angry. So that's going to be interesting. I mean, I think with his panel, I mean, he's probably just going to talk about it. Maybe they're finally going to announce Hawkman. And I think we've all realized it's going to be played by Ana de Armas now, right?
Oh my goodness.
That's all right.
Fucking Hawkman. Goddamn Hawkman. Hey, but you know what though? And I'm pretty sure that they probably will announce that, and they'll announce other people. But like in that trailer, he said a new hierarchy is about to happen.
Well, he's said that quote before, so he's bringing it back.
Yeah,
Yes.
he's been saying it a lot.
I love you guys, Scott. You guys are like a time machine for this news. That's what he said when he first when he first met with Jeff Johns about the role, like 3 years ago. He tweeted something like the DC hierarchy is about to change. And of course, at the time, everyone was like turned it into like some anti-Snyder thing.
Yeah, I remember like he's been hashtagging every time he's showing like him working out for it. He said like this like hashtag DC hierarchy or some shit. So yeah,
I'm not. And by the way, Steven, I'm not a time machine. I just have a ridiculous memory for all the
really
crap
do.
I've talked about.
I don't know how many times did Scott like saved me during Film Junkee Live when I'm like trying to remember something or something. All of a sudden I'll see Scott like in the chat go, "Oh, it's this."
Yeah.
And I'm like,
No, but I mean, like I was thinking about it this week, and I realized I don't plug you guys' show enough. Because I even like as someone who like covers this myself and like reads all this stuff, when you guys every single time you guys sit down and like you went through the Jim Lee interview, you went through all the layoffs, and you actually went through the articles, and like we're pulling out stuff that like I didn't even catch when I
you guys are articulate.
So it's very very appreciated that that you guys go through that in detail. It's
what's that podcast
learned it from you, really.
Oh, you mean the DC Film Squadcast on the Squadcast Media Network?
Cheers.
Yeah.
Oh man,
5 years. 5 years.
5 years.
5 years.
Congratulations, man.
September 4th, September 5th is the actual anniversary of when our Comic-Con Suicide Squad trailer breakdown published on iTunes.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Wow. And I'm gonna bring this up just because this is the first time I heard Suicide Squadcast at that time, which is what it was called. I remember listening to the afterthoughts of Justice League, and I was listening to it, and yeah, I was into it. I was like, man, I'm feeling the same thing. I understand their pain. And the moment I'm pretty sure it was you, Scott. The moment you said I couldn't sleep that night,
that was me.
Fuck yes. I went, exactly. That was my pain. Just fucking laying there staring at the ceiling. And I've told the story several times, dude. I was dating this girl at the time. We went to go see it, and it was the first time that I was ever embarrassed to actually watch a Justice League film. When I saw that opening, I went, what the fuck is this?
And just upside down.
Just like getting it. And I remember coming home and like we went to like the 11:30 showing, so 2 hours later.
Yeah, me too.
Coming home, I'm fucking tired. Yeah, I'm tired, so I'm laying in bed. She apparently goes to sleep, and I'm just staring there, like literally staring at the ceiling. And I make this little note. I just scoff, really. I went, and she's like, she wakes up or she says something. She's like, "Oh, you're still awake?" And I was like, "Yeah, I just
thinking about that."
She's like, "Well, what? What's why?" And I was like, "Nah, I don't really. Don't worry about it. I'll try to go to sleep." She's like, "No, you could just tell me." I was like, "Okay." I'm just really pissed off that they did that shit to Justice League because I saw the trailers and I started going off on it like for 5 fucking minutes. She was like,
and you guys broke up soon after?
Yeah. No, she was thinking it was like something that it was involving us, like our relationship or something like that. So
no,
it was
the movie.
Yeah, it was the fucking movie we just saw.
Like that. It's like that meme of the couple laying in bed, where she's like, "I bet he's thinking about other women," and then his thought bubble, like, "Why?"
It's all Henry Cavill's face. Henry Cavill's face.
How did they fuck that movie up so bad? Because remember, they sold it as Zack Snyder's Justice League. They
of course.
sold the fucking.
Of course.
One of my favorite silver linings of this entire situation. It's always hard to talk about because like it's a tragic situation that got us here. But at the same time, if of all the ways for this to happen, there has never been that I'm aware of such a clear opportunity to examine two different filmmakers. Like literally, this is the closest you're going to get to a control group, like a scientific study. Like in order to have any sort of like legitimacy to say, look, they're provided the exact same resources. I mean, maybe not exact same because we know we didn't have as much time.
Technically, they were. No, technically they were though because he had all the footage.
Yeah,
he had all the footage. He had all of Zack's footage.
Yeah, so he had Zack's footage, and
5 hours worth.
And he could have finished what Zack was doing or done something else, and him and the team, the committee and Whedon made decisions that about what the film should look like, what the story should be, etc. And that's what we got. And now, using that exact same foundation that Whedon was working with, Zach, without a committee, is going to go and put this together, and then we're going to be able to say, look at this scene, look at the color. Like from a technical perspective, people say Zach doesn't know his technicals. You're going to say, no, look, this is how Whedon did it. This is how Zach did it. Exact same shot. He knows how to color grade. He knows how to, the editing, etc. is all going to be
studied. It's going to be studied in film classes, 100%. They're going to be like comparing and contrasting those two.
Maybe Garza is going to make another own ultimate periodic table.
Yeah. I'm gonna be throwing up in my mouth a little bit, but
a little bit. All right, we got Mr. Matt from Comic Movie Marks.
Hey, Matt.
Oh yes.
Hey, what's going on?
I got in before Ben.
To
So I'm not-
You're not the crotch. You're not the crotch this time.
Congratulations.
I don't know why anybody doesn't like being there. I love being in that position. Fuck it. I'm by myself.
Hey, if you want
nobody to fucking deal with,
drop out and come back in.
Fucking boot.
Log back in.
Kick him out and bring him back in.
No. I didn't say that. I just said I had no problem being there. Okay. I didn't say I wanted to go there.
We're on Dave's channel. It's got to be, you call it the balls area.
Yeah.
So Ben is in the balls area.
People are actually
People
are actually requesting us to watch Justice League all together in a live watch. So we might have to do that together.
But I'm telling you, Tim and I are going to do that. We're doing our comment. We're going to do a commentary track, and we're going to we're going to do that because I have been waiting to go off on that movie, and I'm finally going to get my chance. It's the only reason that Blu-ray Steelbook has the cellophane unwrapped off of it is because Mr. Laugh Now Cry Later on DC Film Squadcast, we will deliver that for you.
That's awesome.
Damn.
Okay, well then maybe the rest of us can do that. That'll be fun. What are you drinking there? What are you drinking there, Matt? Are you drinking a Snapple?
These things kill me, man. I gotta drink organic tea now. Like fucking.
There we go. This guy.
Hey, those are good.
Nice.
Fired.
What a
Fired.
bitch. That's cool.
Well, I was trying to ease into that, Garza. But
So, Dave, talking about yesterday, I gotta look at this because yesterday was my first day with students. So, for the first time, that I cannot just be like glued to my freaking phone all day.
Sucks.
And so, like, and I said this on the video that we did on our Patreon page, but it was like I get the teaser as I'm leaving the house. I watch it before I get in the car. Then it's like the Battinson poster from Jim Lee with the logo. And then Ray Fisher's tweet about the investigation. And then the Affleck. I just sit there going, what the hell else could happen today? And it's not even Saturday.
Not even Saturday. I mean, it was just like it was a DC Fandom pre-show for sure. And speaking of your partner, Mr. Tim Yoko.
There we go.
What's up, sir?
So
now we got
welcome, Tim. Hey, Tim. What are you drinking, by the way?
I'm drinking this thing. It's a clear liquid.
Water.
All right.
Water.
I'll drink to that.
I know. It's kind of lame. I'm doing water tonight.
Some of that too.
So I want to ask this question to you guys.
Yeah.
I want to ask this question to every single one of you, even the live chat can participate, because I'm going to ask this question, and it's a hypothetical. Okay? Yeah, it's a very fucking hypothetical, but it's a serious hypothetical. Okay.
I'm scared. It's going to be the most hypothetical I've ever heard.
Yeah. So you remember on May 20th when I tweeted out a GIF of Ryan Reynolds in the Green Lantern outfit or whatever, from his movie.
Okay.
If on that day I instead did not tweet a GIF out there and I wrote an exclusive article on Real Anarchy, that would be a drink too. Okay.
Cheers.
Oh yeah. We're still
Now,
doing that.
if I wrote an exclusive article saying that Ryan Reynolds had signed a contract to play Green Lantern in Zack Snyder's Justice League on May 20th, and that he was gonna be announced at DC Fandom, and that he was possibly going to do some other stuff, but I didn't have any specifics on that. And I'm leading it up to it. I'm saying he's already signed. He's already signed the fucking contract. I said it on the 20th of May, right? And we get an announcement on a Thursday before DC Fandom that Ryan Reynolds is actually going to play Green Lantern, but he's going to be in the Wonder Woman Part 3 sequel. He's not going to be in.
That'd be a weird crossover. Anyway, sorry.
It'd be a weird, right? It would be.
Yeah.
I mean, Gal
and that Ryan Reynolds had just signed this week from a script that he looked at last week and did some rewrites on it. Would you guys be okay if I took a victory lap saying that I called Green Lantern?
Yes.
Wait.
Would we be okay with it?
Good hypothetical. Nothing to reality.
Hey, this sounds
all.
like the Batman deal.
See, this is
No. This is Green Lantern.
This is apples and watermelons, okay? You can't compare. You got watermelons in
Oh,
in the bag, and then you got that can't be a thing anyway.
Yeah.
No, so
I'm curious. If I had heard that Ryan Reynolds had signed a Green Lantern contract, and the news broke on a Thursday that was not DC fandom, even though I kept saying that it was going to be a DC fandom.
I think the fact that you would even mention Ryan Reynolds and he does get signed to a DC contract shows a big deal in general, because the fact that he was coming back to DC in general, to see comparing it to the Batfleck thing is there's always a chance just because of what happened after the first domino fell.
But if I had said on May 20th, if I was saying May 20th that he had signed, if I had said he was signed.
You could have said at the beginning of the week, or even at the beginning of the year. And if you said Ryan Reynolds was going to be back signed in the DC, I would call you Nostradamus.
Well, you're talking about something totally different than the Affleck thing there, because Affleck was already Batman, and there were always rumors of his return.
If Green Lantern ends up being right, you might as well take some Superman victory, fucking around the
Turn the world around, and just reverse time.
So I get what point you're trying to make, and so I'm sure we're all being a little bit pedantic to what you're trying to get across. But I think that the Ryan Reynolds analogy, like that would be a great call, right? Like if I were to be like, oh hey, I think that Tom Hanks is going to be Hawkman, and then a year from now, Tom Hanks becomes Hawkman. I mean, that's like a no look, across the court,
fucking buzzer beater.
No look path. Yeah.
Right? Exactly. It doesn't matter if I say he's going to be Hawkman in the Avengers, and then it turns out he's like plays a character named the Hawk. It's still a great call, right?
Right.
Like
almost there, yeah. No.
Whereas,
enough.
Like for example, Variety reported in right after Justice League came out, Variety reported that Ben Affleck was going to be in the Flash. The Flash was announced as Flashpoint, right? So there was always an assumed role, and what all the different trades and scoopers and whatever have always said is Affleck is going to be in it, and it's going to reset the timeline, and they're going to use it to recast Batman, and that's been like the narrative for 3 years now, almost, right? Or even longer than that. Yeah. Even longer than that, because that rumor started before Justice League even came out. Right. And then Affleck was like, no, I'm done, period. Then that's when the story changed to, no, Affleck's not going to be in it at all. He's just done. They might use it to recast Affleck, but he won't appear in it to be recast. But I bet probably We Got This Covered and Cosmic Book and
the Culture Nerd
Rant.
That's what
we've never reported that, but
I know.
But you
I'm still mad about that one article. So
which one?
Yeah, the Stargirl one.
The one Stargirl one.
Oh, the screener one. Good timing with that one.
We got a check cleared from Jeff Johns. And
exactly.
Let's go.
Cha-ching. Mr. I don't have internet. Sure got that Stargirl interview though.
But So yeah, that's what's weird about the whole story is like Affleck, like for example, calling Michael Keaton as casting would be impressive, but like saying Affleck is going to come back.
Nobody saw Michael Keaton come back.
A number of people, including people in fandom, have been scooping, aka predicting that Affleck would be back for.
Is that scooping? I don't know if those equal the same words. I'm not sure.
Educated guess.
I could literally post a fucking 50 goddamn GIFs of everything that's involved with Justice League. And guess what? One of those is probably going to be semi right? I mean, fuck.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Well, do you know how stock tip scams work?
Oh, we all do.
Educate me.
Yeah. Well,
I watched Wolf of Wall Street. Does that help?
I watched Wall Street with Michael Douglas.
Or that.
There's these email scams for stock tips, and what they do is they'll get an email list of like thousands of people, and they'll send it to them and say, hey, here's a free stock tip.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and buy shares and whatever. But they'll send out like 3 or 4 iterations or whatever to these thousands of people, and so each group only gets one. And then whichever tips turn out to be good, they toss, or whatever tips are bad, they toss all those people out of their contact list and only send follow-ups to the people with a good stock tip. And so they'll send another 4 stock tips to that new group of people. And then once again, some of them will be right, some of them will be wrong. They toss out all the wrong ones until eventually you have a refined list of people who you've sent like 3 stock tips to. And as far as they know, they don't know all the ones that you sent that were wrong. All they know is, man, I've gotten 3 tips from these people, and every single one of them was fire. And then you send the follow-up email, and you said, subscribe to our service, and we'll give you another stock tip. And you're like, well, it's a sure thing now, right? And so you look at like, especially you see this in like Instagram scoopers or like these rumor accounts, or like the We Got This Covered functions very much that way. Read every single one of their article, and they always reference it's the same source who told us X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
They also said the Flash. They also said the Flash and
right.
Batman too.
But that's the way that their articles work. And so you read it, and they'll say this is the same person that told us that that Robert Pattinson said would be Batman or whatever. And it's like, but you also at the time, like you reported 100 people were going to be Batman, but all you're doing now is referencing that, and then so the audience is going to say, did they report that? They'll Google it. They'll find the article that says Robert Pattinson will be Batman. And they'll say, wow, this source must be accurate, and then they'll believe them on that story. And it's crazy that like you see people. I've started to pick up recently. I noticed that a lot of people in fandom, I thought that they just didn't like know how to read news, or that they like can't follow a narrative properly. But I realized that because of this whole like fear of like clickbait and stuff, people just don't read anything at all and just go off of like memes basically. Like on Instagram, you have all the news on Instagram is like an image that someone posts, and it'll be like Ben Affleck is gonna be.
Well, and to be fair, I can understand the impulse to not want to read, because let's be honest, Tim and I have kind of built an audience of people who are like, we don't even know what to read, so we're just
hard to pick and choose.
It's hard to pick, so we're going to listen to you guys because you're going to break it down for us.
Right, but you look and you see something from the Vanity Fair, and I'm going to click that and I'm going to read it. Because it's Anthony Bresnikan, and he's got quotes from Andy Muschietti in there. Like that's a step above us. It's the best scoop I've ever seen. If I'm
the fact that he's got the fucking literally the director interviewed in this fucking interview and a scoop. It's like
that's an exclusive.
Yeah,
that's news.
If it's written,
if it's fucking right.
Listen, if it's fucking written in the goddamn exclusive that it was a week ago that he got the script and he decided to make the decision this week. Guess where he fucking learned that from? The fucking director. Like, I don't get, like, how can you go, but still.
But is he really a good source? I mean, let's be clear.
I mean, is the director a good source? I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you this, though. When I heard the whole Batfleck news, the first link I saw, unfortunately, was the rap. And I was like, okay, why is everyone? And then like 30 seconds later, I was like, oh, Vanity Fair. Oh, and then there was this moment where I just kind of went,
at first it's like, wait, where did this come from? And you're searching, and then when you see Vanity Fair, you kind of had this warmth of like, oh my god, this is actually
happening. Like Vanity FIR, and it's like,
I know. Is it a ring? Is the fake Vanity Fair?
It goes back to the pre-Justice League days, like all that stuff where people, it just that scarred a lot of individuals.
That's what I've mentioned before too. We've been burned many times in the past. That's why, like, when it comes to me, I'm like, okay, wait a minute. I pump the brakes. Let me start checking with people. Let me start talking with people. I'm not going to just automatically go, yes, I believe this. I'm going to do my due diligence and I'm going to check. And like for the longest time, I was like, I heard, no, he's not signing. I mean, one of the reasons why we ran that Thank You Batfleck campaign was we heard he was reluctant. So, hey, let's give a little social media push on this Friday.
So it makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, if he literally had to rewrite some of the script. If he was sitting there making changes, that means he had to be convinced, which is what we've all been saying.
Yeah.
So how can anybody literally, and I'm talking about specifically the cultured nerd. I don't give a fuck about who they are or what they're about. How can you sit there and say that a Vanity Fair exclusive? Yeah, sorry.
Hey, you reference somebody, you know. I mean,
no, how can you sit there and pretend that a Vanity Fair exclusive is correct when in that fucking same exclusive it says that Ben Affleck did not sign until this week and was not given and talked to till last week?
But here's the thing: even with the Hollywood Reporter article on Zack Snyder's Justice League, we know that's a fluff piece.
Yeah,
we know there's
absolutely.
inconsistencies and things. So how much can we actually take at face value when it comes to those type of comments? Did he actually just look? Did he really make this decision in a week?
Well,
I mean, did he really? And so
I'll tell you this.
I'm just saying, there's
and when it comes to when it comes to what we know, as far as what we know, you're right. We knew that he wasn't signed. We knew that he needed to be convinced. So when it comes to this shit, we were in the know. We were like, no, he hasn't. He needs to be convinced. And we also knew about Zach. We also knew about the shit that was going on. So we knew that we could understand and read between the lines that fucking Hollywood Reporter article was it was a purely fucking fluff piece. It was made to look Emmerich like he was included and inclusive in doing this. Adding Zach.
You know what? Maybe I should give him a call.
Fuck him, dude. Fuck him for doing that, for making it happen that way. AT&T wanted to be nice. This situation, no. This wasn't meant to make Andy Muschietti fucking look like a fucking angel to get Ben Affleck back. It was, hey, look, they literally convinced him within the week.
But the thing with the Affleck stuff is a lot of us have assumed that Affleck's re-entry into the DC universe requires Zack Snyder's Justice League to be a success. And I think that's where a lot of people were waiting on to see how well that did, or the reception to that, before we jumped on the whole Batfleck is coming back bandwagon. But apparently the script you see there for The Flash and Andy Muschietti is convincing enough to bring him back, at least for a little bit.
And can I take a moment to point out something that someone else also pointed out on Twitter that I've been thinking about? Because people who want to, and we all have various opinions about Birds of Prey, but let's remember that the Flash movie is being at least initially scripted by Christina Hodson. So there's something there.
Fuck, why do you remind me of that?
Well, you want to know why? You want to know why, Matt? Because I don't care. I know there are people in the chat who are going to burn me alive, and I don't care. I enjoyed Bumblebee and I enjoyed Birds of Prey. So guess what? I'm okay with this.
No, but
it could be enjoyable, but I'm afraid to watch it again because the second time watching it, I was like, I really started seeing all the fuckery and just like,
But once again, it's the fuckery, and I'm not necessarily saying it's. Once again, we should know there's a difference between the script that gets written and the film that gets released.
Right. Well,
can I go back to
the director has a big influence on that, also, and in the way it's like ultimately presented, especially like in something like this where you know that like Muschietti has a certain style that's not going to be the same as Hodson.
Yeah.
And then also we know that Affleck had input on the script, so there's a lot going on there.
Yeah.
Can I go back to the Affleck thing?
I'm really confident in Muschietti because of it.
Yeah.
It was fantastic.
Is it Muschietti or is it Muccietti?
Muschietti, I thought.
I don't know.
Muschietti?
Is that Italian? I don't know.
I go with Andy.
Oh yeah,
He's Argentinian.
Anyways,
Tim, you were gonna say something?
I was gonna say the thing about like Affleck, like the whole idea that they were gonna wait to see how well the Snyder Cut was received before making a decision on Affleck. That never made any sense to me because I mean you're not gonna know anything about that until next year, right?
Right.
And if you want to get him involved in anything, like you got to get moving now. Like you need to start making plans now. And so like I always felt that had to be completely disconnected. Like I never bought the idea that they were going to sit and wait around. They know, they know they would like to be in the Ben Affleck business as a filmmaker.
Well, I mean, it was right there on the big billboard
wouldn't?
when they announced it, when they showed HBO Max. He was like front and center. He was towering over everybody but Big Bird, for fuck's sake.
Right.
Big Bird was like the only one that was a little bit taller than him. So it's like we knew. I mean, no matter what anybody felt about like BVS, it seemed like everybody was like Ben Affleck's Batman was actually pretty damn awesome. I mean, I don't like the movie, but but it was pretty badass. But so yeah.
And
the
I
thing
like
is that
he got top billing in every movie that came out. He was top billing on.
That's how you say it. Andy Mom's Spaghetti. There you go, guys.
Eddie Moms on BBS and in Justice League.
You're appreciated, Tim. Sorry.
Oh,
go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
So he I mean, anybody who have half a brain would know that they would want Ben Affleck back into the business of Ben Affleck. One of the things that I mentioned in the on the Real Emotion part.
There we go. Yeah, we go.
God damn it.
glad I got water tonight.
I need another beer.
You're gonna be overly hydrated, Tim.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
You're gonna have to
Just
pee
like a
like
racehorse.
crazy.
Is that you could be on the known. Probably you know something, but the fact that there was some news that came out a couple of weeks ago about Michael Keaton.
Yeah,
And that is something that I mentioned. Like, if you know what you know, you will double down and say, "Oh yes, it's gonna be Michael Keaton and Ben Affleck." By the way, because I already know this much.
so good.
But the information that was released was totally different from what was reported a while back.
Well, everybody.
But again,
every day, man.
yeah. So, but going back to the argument, I mean, it's just like beating a dead horse. Everybody knows. They want Ben Affleck back. HBO Max or Warner Brothers, whoever, they want to be in the business of Ben Affleck.
That's such a good one. Oh, man, this is bad.
Yeah,
Waste of time.
You just threw
Bye,
that
Amanda.
they trained them so well.
That's awesome. You guys see that? I said I need a beer, and a beer arrived.
Dang. I gotta get me one of these.
Your kid now.
Yeah. I want a sandwich.
No,
And you're canceled.
that I'm not aware of yet. That's all.
Oh, I thought you. Oh shit.
Uh-oh. What'd you do, Matt?
It's okay.
Somebody get that.
Should we take a break?
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Stepped on my cable cord.
Yeah.
So to kind of respond to what Tim was saying, what I meant though was not AT&T or HBO Max making the moves on Affleck. It's Affleck's choice. I think he was going to wait and see a little bit on that, on how it's received, at least how things are going. Does Snyder's vision actually come true? That's what I meant by that. Is that he's waiting to see how that pans out. Will he get complete carte blanche when it comes to HBO Max? That's what I meant. Not AT&T, because we've known forever WB, AT&T, they want Batfleck back. They've always wanted him back as many times as possible. But yeah, I think for him personally, because we all know it's his decision not to be Batman. I mean, or to be Batman.
There was many times where it was like, when it comes to Warner Brothers, I'm like, no, Zack Snyder, Ben Affleck, they need to walk away from that. I mean, they went through hell when it came to all Warner Brothers. But now it's a whole different beast. It's a different environment. Look what's happening to those assholes that were part of Warner Brothers.
Well, the whole reshuffling and restructuring.
They're getting investigated.
I mean, and then the investigation. And once again, look at the timing. Like, if you just look at the news, last week, all the news was about was people getting fired, restructuring, the streamlining of Warner Media and DC Comics, and
forgotten.
And it's just like clearing the path, separating the wheat from the chaff. Then this week we're getting into build up for Fandom. The internal investigation gets announced. It just seems like just dominoes after dominoes. It's like the pieces were being put in place.
Oh, definitely.
And then I'm complete speculation on my part because I don't know. I'm just looking at the tea leaves going, someone who got burned so badly has got to be looking at the situation going, this ain't your daddy's Warner Brothers.
Like that.
You got to look at it and go, there truly is a new sheriff in town. And so that has got to set up a situation that if you're someone who's on the fence, that has got to be something that goes, okay, I'm not going to be dealing with the same assholes I had to deal with 3 years ago.
I kind of looked at it like all this.
Hold on, Tim, go ahead.
I kind of looked at it like all this news this past week. It's the equivalent of like the Friday night news dump. You know, they had to kind of clean up some of the stuff, get it out there before all this other stuff that's going to be hitting with DC Fandom, which is going to override all this bad news. You know, so you took care of the Jeff Johns stuff, and you let that that apparently got out there. Of course, all the layoffs, restructuring, which is terrible PR. But that's all out there now.
But I mean, it was perfectly timed because nobody remembers about all that stuff, and that's stuff that was supposed to happen a long time ago. Because if you know business, whenever they merge, they clean house. This is standard. Like when somebody takes over another company, that they bring their own people and they just start firing. It's just the nature of that beast. People get fired. And
well, didn't that get brought up in Ray Fisher's tweet talking about how they were like, you know, the whole merger was happening, so they had that, you know, he brought that.
And we were talking about that 2 or 3 years ago when Justice League was being made, and there were the stories in Forbes and the Wrap and everyone else. If you were plugged in, you knew that was part of the environment at the time because we were all talking about the impending merger.
Yeah. And here's the other thing too, is that if you didn't know, as far as Jeff Johns was concerned, you know, you had to have been able to see, again, it's something that I wrote on Real Anarchy as an exclusive. I will say that. Yeah, cheers.
Did you actually put exclusive?
Really?
Oh, I absolutely did, because it was a true thing. And you know what, Scott, what I was going to tell you though is technically what you can do if you're speculating, all you have to do is literally say, I don't know what I'm saying, and it's an exclusive. And it'll just be exclusive. Right. Yeah, you'll be right. So you could just say whatever you want.
I feel like you're holding a grudge, Garza.
Yeah,
I'm getting a hint. I'm getting a small hint of this malice nature.
He's talking about nobody.
I can give $2 less.
But let's also. But I want yesterday, however, to sink in. And I'm sorry, Dave, because of us doing the Rocketeer review, I didn't get to see your emergency live last night. Well, you know, life sucks. What can I say? But talking about talking about what's on my shirt right now, I'm trying to still wrap my head around the fact that I get an awesome Jim Lee Battinson poster that I just want. It better be in that Fandom store tomorrow so I can like shut up and take my money.
Yes.
Plus,
I'm buying that thing.
Plus, I get a Vanity Fair article that not only tells me that Batfleck is coming back in the Flash movie, it doubles down on the fact that Keaton is still involved. And I'm just sitting here going,
that was one of the things that started getting overshadowed when we, you know,
I know.
You know, Twitter started
being like under the radar.
Twitter started going crazy, and all of a sudden, like, we're getting all hyped, and all of a sudden, I get mentions like, "You need to apologize," and I'm like, "What did I fucking say?" And then I'm like, "Do you guys realize what just happened?" I mean, Ben Affleck, and not to mention, they also mentioned Michael Keaton. They're both going to be two Batman.
Here's the thing that doesn't get talked about either. Like, I know you guys, none of you guys want to hear it. And I'm sorry that I'm going to bring it up, and I apologize.
Oh shit!
I was going to talk about Jeff Johns.
That's me. I'm just kidding.
Fuck that. I'm not going to talk about Jeff Johns, even though this weekend was supposed to be his highlight.
That's true.
What I was told. I was told it was going to be Jeff Johns' con, but from what Grace said, she said that Michael Keaton's Batman was going to be mentoring a Batgirl.
Oh,
that would be like the continuation, which would be.
That was
be interesting.
I didn't see it, but I heard something.
I know you didn't see it. I'm telling you because you didn't see it because I know you didn't watch it.
She rolled over and told you? I'm just kidding.
You got to bring that shit up, man. I told you that shit.
That's pretty much how it happened.
Yeah. Mike G brings up a good point. Maybe The Rock just said, "Hey, everybody, get your shit together and let's make something fucking cool here." Sorry.
Too bad that didn't work with Fast and Furious.
Go ahead, Chris. Chris has been trying to say something for the past 30 minutes.
Oh, yeah. Sorry,
Chris. Come on, Chris. Come on.
No,
Chris.
What were your thoughts? What were your thoughts when you heard the news? What were your thoughts when you heard the news? Or what do you want to say? Sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, no. I was just want to say that I remember back in November when Zack Snyder and we had that trending events where we had, you know, and Gal and Ben and when Ben especially released the Snyder Cut. I was talking to you and Steven and Dave, and we were like, and Steven especially was like, it's all on the table. Everything's on the table. At that point, it was like, Ben was kind of almost on board. He was like, Zach brought him back again. And he's like, at that point, he kind of just opened up a whole possibilities that was going to happen. And that's why I even made that video, Sky's the Limit on Ping Pong Flick Show,
There you go.
There you go.
He even had the
I had
title
to plug. Here
down.
was the plug, and I was like, I had to plug something.
I say
But-
double shot because he got the title.
Yeah, totally did.
No, it's fucking
No,
just
but
Ask
like,
him-
when all,
Ask him again in 30 minutes.
when everything
Yeah,
got
yeah.
announced,
That idea, it just
Yeah.
blew it open. At that point, I believed that the wheels were already turning for that.
100%. And like anytime people were like asking, like, "Well, do you think Ben Affleck's coming back?" I'm like, he will for Snyder for sure. He'll come back if he needs to do additional photography. He'll get back in that suit. He doesn't need to get all huge and shit. I mean, the workout scene in BVS, that was just for that. That was for that was a glamour shot. You have to have that montage in there. You got to show what you've been working out and blah 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 whatever. But he doesn't need to get in that ridiculous shape. He's in great shape right now. I mean, Jesus Christ, what the hell is, Anna fucking doing to that guy? I mean, I'm jealous.
I think you just answered your own question.
Yes,
I'm
yes.
just-
I did drop
yeah.
an F-bomb in there on purpose.
I
Yeah.
had a follow-up question that
She's
was
literally
crazy around there.
life into him.
Yeah.
So, all he has to do is just put that thing back on. He'll be fine.
The Affleck thing has been such a long journey that I think everyone has kind of lost track of like what actually happened and what the issue has been the whole time. And this has been in official reporting. This has been from all the trades, but even the fans that have had this, like, there's been the two, like, oh, he could come back, and then there's the he'll never come back. And what everyone like refused to like talk about or understand or whatever the whole holdup was is that nobody was happy with how that ended.
Right.
Warner Brothers wanted that to be resolved in a way. They didn't want a half Batman story arc on the big screen, especially
a Affleck.
they didn't want a Affleck. And Ben didn't like how it ended either. Ben, he loves the character. He had a movie ready to go that he was working on. He wasn't happy how that ended either. They wanted to find a way to work it out, and maybe that involved just giving it, bringing some resolution to that story arc, and maybe that meant doing something with Flashpoint to recast him, or there was talks at multiple times to do different things. There was even talks at one point about like they were interested in bringing him in for Birds of Prey, that I was hearing about, and like none of that like developed because neither side had like what they wanted.
Jeff Johns.
Team,
You say
right.
That, yeah.
Well, but you still had like Johns
Cap.
was still there and Emmerich was still there, and they wanted something from the character that maybe he didn't want to give. But at the same time, he didn't have the confidence that they were going to give him the freedom that he needed, and he was going through his own stuff. So there were roadblocks on both sides. But Ben always wanted to finish his Batman story in one way or another, and Warner Brothers always wanted to have him finish his story. And so I wasn't going to bring it up, but since Chris referenced it, it was actually on November 16th, the day before the Snyder Cut broke the internet.
Was it that day? I'm
was,
pretty sure I said something on the November 18th. Okay.
I know, but on the 16th,
I know, just go on.
The day before it, I published an article about how HBO Max would be perfect for. I published an article on ScreenRant.com. Sorry, guys.
There it is.
Oh yeah, there we go. Sweet.
Glad I'm doing water tonight.
And it was all about why HBO Max was perfect. And once again, it's one of those things that like the people who were opposed to the cut didn't get, and even the people that were in favor of it didn't fully understand, was that HBO Max changed everything. With or without the November 17th changed everything. But even without November 17th, HBO Max presents a platform and a budget and a demand and the ability to serve a particular audience that a theatrical release just can't. You can monetize things with a specific audience that a theatrical just can't do. Even if it didn't trend like it did on November 17th, HBO Max was going to kick open doors. And I can tell you that the wheels were turning before November 17th. Now, what November 17th accomplished includes like extra funding and stuff that we weren't going to get anyway, but we were going to get something, even if we
40
got
million?
half the trend.
Had to do it.
And so one of the things that I said in that article was we're not just, and that was where I also mentioned the possibility of a series, because that makes sense if you're doing HBO Max. Once again, we're talking about how do you monetize this, how do you make this useful, and so I mentioned a series there. And then the other thing about a series is if a series is successful, it's a lot easier to greenlight a second season than it is to greenlight a brand new movie.
Yep.
And alongside that, I said look at how many incomplete projects in the Snyderverse. You've got the Cyborg movie that had development done on it to some extent. I don't know if it had a script or what, or storyboards or anything, but there was work put into it that they never paid off on, right? There was expense incurred in development that was never paid off. You look at the Batman, you had a script that was apparently great. You had Jay Oliva was working on storyboards. They were like scouting. They'd even hired like a sentiment, like there was work done on that. People got paid to do work for it.
They had the DP hired. Richard Richardson or whatever his name is.
Well, and you also have Joe Manganiello there as Deathstroke, who was probably inserted into Justice League to set up that.
Because of Batman.
Well,
Snyder was helping with the script. Snyder was. I mean, you can't tell me that in between scenes of Justice League, Affleck and Snyder were probably shooting the shit about where.
That's why fucking Ben Affleck. That's why he released the Deathstroke reveal. None of us knew Deathstroke was going to be in there.
Deathstroke being in there was as a cliffhanger to set up the Batman movie. So like when the Snyder Cut comes out, if they have the original Batman ending, it's going to be real fucking awkward if there's not a story to follow up, unless they change that ending. Like that's the reality. And so it's not just a financial investment of developing the script and getting storyboards and hiring people to do work that was never done, but also there's marketing investment, and they got people hyped up for a movie and got people invested in a movie that then they don't have the ability to sell to them. And so not only do you have actual incurred cost, but you also have the economics is all failing me now, but you also have a cost that is incurred, an intangible incurred cost, and then you have opportunity cost of this movie that everyone wants to pay for, wants to give you money for, and you can't serve up. And HBO Max comes along, and it changes all of that. So, in the article that I wrote for Screen Rant on November 16th, 2017 or 2019, before the turning event happened, I said the Batfleck movie.
Right out of the bottle, Scott.
Could have an and. That's where I said it could be turned into a series.
Ben Affleck.
Uh-oh, he froze.
He froze.
Fucking Steven, man. Hey, I'll continue what he was going to say because I tweeted
20 more minutes
on
to
November 18th, literally 2 days later after his fucking article, only because he convinced me of the situation. And I went, you know what?
There it is.
That makes fucking sense, okay? Because here's the thing.
He's back.
If they're going to use...
So anyway...
I don't give a fuck. No. Fuck you. No.
Man.
Stop. I'm talking now.
Oh,
No, I'm just kidding. Continue.
All right.
You can go on, Steven.
Then I'll go get a refill.
just
First,
filling it
talking.
Yeah, I know. It was just a filibuster, man. That's it.
Good job.
Did he freeze again?
He did.
He froze again.
I don't know what's going on.
Anyways, what?
You got
Okay.
Can't handle all this awesomeness. That's what.
Anyways,
You used up all your
Ben
bandwidth
Affleck-
in your last conversation.
Yeah, exactly.
I think I can hear him.
I'm curious to get these thoughts because I've never asked Tim this question because obviously when do I have the chance? Because this is the first time I'm getting to talk.
How many licks do you
Yeah,
get?
what would you-
Tootsie Pop?
Yeah.
The world may never know.
1, 3.
How would you feel if they announced a Ben Affleck doing his original? Because he had gotten the rewrite or the page one rewrite from Terrio, and with his Batman script. So imagine him saying, "You know what? I'm going to take this and I'm going to do a 3-episode arc and film it this way. Would you be satisfied?" And that was his last. All right, I'm not going to come out for Justice League 2 or 3 or whatever. I'm going to figure out a way to make it to where I die or something at the end of Batman. How would you feel, Tim?
How would I feel? I mean, I want more Affleck. So like if that's all we get from him, like I'd be happy to get that. But I mean, I'm greedy. You know, I definitely want more. So like I want there to be a bigger plan. You know, like that was the thing. Like at the time, like we all felt like, and there was like kind of a plan in place. There was clearly was a plan, at least with Snyder and his producers.
And a T-shirt.
I want like a really bold vision to see it from start to finish. Like if Snyder's able to come in and get the rest of what he wants to do, like obviously I'm going to want that. And if the Ben Affleck little film, whatever his vision fits right into that, fuck yeah, man! I want to see all that stuff.
Heck yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And by the way,
here's
right
oh, Steven's frozen.
Steven, what do you
Here's
think?
my idea.
Oh,
This is Steven. Oh, so here's what I was thinking. Right, if they wanted to make or at least continue Zack Snyder's Justice League, as far as because if it's going to be called the Snyder Cut, which I don't think it's going to be called that, you can't continue that as a second series. Like you can't say the Snyder Cut continued because it's a new fucking thing. It doesn't exist. So it's not the Snyder Cut. It's whatever. It's Justice League.
Yeah.
And so
it's marketable though.
it is,
not as an ongoing series. That's going to go
Correct.
further.
Right
No,
now,
you're not
like,
gonna-
leading up to it. hashtag. That's why they put the hashtag right in front of the little title.
Absolutely. And in a year from now, it'll be all that buildup will be for that marketing, for that hashtag. Yeah. But after that, dude, okay, it's done. You don't.
Yeah,
you're not going to reuse that fucking hashtag.
I explained that to somebody on Twitter today, where I was like, okay, yeah, sometimes movies use like different hashtags to market their shit, or TV.
Dude, BVS used who will win. What the fuck? Yeah. It's not. I mean, who cares? But anyways, so when you get to Justice League 2, right? Zack Snyder's Series 2 or Sequel 2,
you're now one of the
whatever the fuck you want to call it. They could basically stretch that out to maybe not a 9-episode season, but if they wanted to adapt Ben Affleck's Batman script in between Justice League and whatever's happening in Justice League, the sequel, that could fill out that second season. And if he died, obviously with the nightmare scene or whatever you want to call it, with him trying to protect Lois, that could all happen in that second season. And then the third season could be the full all out like Justice League war. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or there's ways that they could do that.
Or he could do it as a movie with a $65 million budget, as like with their other Warner Max stuff. Or he could do it as a miniseries. I mean, the whole point is that HBO Max gives them the freedom to do so many different things with. It gives Affleck what he always wanted, and it gets all of the executives that were a problem before out of the way. Mm-hmm. And once again, we know, like, what do we know? We know Affleck wanted to finish the story. We know that fans wanted the story finished, and we know that there was an incentive for the company to do it, and we know there were costs that needed to be recouped. So the answer was always whether or not Affleck is in the right place, and there's a way to produce and release it. And so the second HBO Max enters the scene, almost all those questions are answered. The only thing that's left is alcohol, or is
wow.
Is
shit.
That was a Freudian slip.
Yeah.
That where he's excited to tackle this again. Does he want to go through the stress of opening Pandora's box again? Mm-hmm. And I think that he seems to be in a great place recently, creatively and his health and emotionally. I mean, if the pictures in the tabloids are anything close to reality, and we know they are.
Yeah, my God.
So anyway, that is why on November 16th I said that
finally we got
that it would be a series.
On where?
Okay, guys. So here's something that I wanted. Oh, stop!
On where? On where?
Stop it!
On where?
In my article on ScreenRant.com.
I already drank, so whatever.
I'm out of everything.
Scott, what were you gonna say? Yeah.
Well,
I need another bottle of water, Tim.
So here's the thing I wanted to get all your guys' thoughts on, because Tim and I talked about this on DC Film Squadcast. I had to do it,
dude.
That if this is and Ben even referenced this earlier, if this is all the news they wanted to burn off before fandom, and Tim, you and I talked about this, then what the hell are we in for tomorrow? If this stuff is let's get this out of the way.
Yeah. We don't want this thing to get buried, so let's get this news out there a couple days early.
Flash movie out of the way.
I have a theory about that.
Okay.
Let's get the Michael Keaton thing out of the way. Let's get
okay. Well, first off, before he even says anything,
where's your pillow,
man? I want to say that I had heard, and you guys could back me up on it if you want, but I heard, and I talked about it last night on Real Emotion live stream, that. Okay. There were some directors that were kind of not necessarily upset, because that's not the right word that I want to use, but they were kind of were not happy. They weren't satisfied with how Zack was being treated and how he was getting all their attention for DC fandom. Because this is a film that came out in 2017. They all have films that are coming out basically that haven't come out yet. And yet he has literally been dropping hints and teasers and all this stuff. So I'm curious as to why, or maybe that's the reason why Matt Reeves all of a sudden dropped some, Jim Lee teaser to kind of help out, to kind of almost give him. I'm not saying that Matt Reeves is the director that was complaining. I'm just saying, like, Wonder Woman TV spot comes out. What do you? Matt Reeves things comes out.
I can't corroborate that, but I can one up it.
Okay, go on. Yeah.
What I heard along those lines was that every other director, or I should say every other, but I heard other directors except for David Sandberg were being little bitches about how much attention Zach was getting at fandom.
Wow.
Like bitches.
Like,
But-
my problem
but-
is
is that
Is that a
That's a
direct
new
quote?
New Netflix movie coming out called Little Bit.
But I also think, Stephen, that's also interesting because you say except Sandberg. But let's talk about the directors who have the most fan engagement on social media, and it tends to be Snyder and of this group. Snyder and Sandberg are the ones who tend to be a little bit more playful. They tend to interact, and so it's. I think what you have, and Tim, we I think just talked about this on our Patreon discussion we had with some patrons, was the idea that
what patron was this?
Patreon.com/squawkcast-media.
I just drank.
We're fucking Patreons now.
Count it. Yeah.
That,
I just need to sleep early tonight.
Patreon.
So I can wake up early.
but the idea being that these other directors are working in a more of an old school model, and we're in a new world. We're in a new era of how you don't you dare close your eyes.
Oh, here we go.
Oh,
I can show you the world.
There's two things
Shiny,
that you need to
shimmering,
consider about.
splendid.
I agree with
But
you.
even Zack Snyder,
I
but
agree
even Zack
with
Snyder was kind of in that world a few years ago.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I agree with the point that Scott is making. But there's two things that you need to consider about the mindset of most of these directors. And one is that where is the Snyder Cut being released, and where are their projects being released? Right.
Exactly.
So you have
You
HBO
can see
Max
the split.
versus theatrical, right? Where do you think AT&T cares about the most on
HBO Max.
August
Well, not even
20th?
that.
well, according to
Who's Snyder
Keelar's
is?
comments and his THR interview,
HBO Max.
it's HBO Max because it goes with the global, it goes with the direct-to-consumer comments that
I mean,
Keelar
you
has
think
been
that
making for a week.
And
think
that's
AT&T
I
wants to
watched the
invest in
same
the theatrical model
interview.
right now?
I watched the same interview, and he's focused on that direct to consumer approach, where he doesn't have to pay a specific network to release their shows. Now it's going directly to HBO Max.
Yeah.
And another thing is that they have this plethora of characters that they don't need to wait for Warner Brothers to do one run and then run on to the next character. Now they can do a Batman here on Warner Brothers and put it out in movie theaters, and HBO Max can do a Batman series or whatever it is that you want to call it, a Batman movie. Don't kill me, Garza, or continue the Snyderverse. Those things could not coexist in the same house.
Well, that's
Well, that's
I
why the first
I
of those two
mentioned
things
that
I was
when
going to mention was HBO Max versus theatrical. Sorry, Dave, but the second thing, and then I'll be done. The second thing
No, you
was
won't.
that you got HBO Max versus theatrical. AT&T doesn't want to invest in theatrical right now. They want to invest in HBO Max, which is where Snyder is.
Yeah.
The second thing is look at the projects that these people are all directing, and when they started in the history of DC and Warner Brothers arc with not like story arc, but like the transition of this universe, right? They all have projects that were that where their foundation is in a time in the DCEU where the like all but explicit objective was differentiate or distance yourself from the Snyderverse. So not only like they went all out to like
I'm still here.
be different than Snyder. And then they bring back Zack, and so not only is he on their preferred platform, but also they're going back in his direction, which is like, so they're like, so why am I doing this reboot of the Suicide Squad if like the other Suicide Squad is more in line with the project that you're putting more attention into?
Yeah.
Why am I doing this more light-hearted Wonder Woman when you're going back in the direction of BVS again?
Well,
we could do that
Think
now.
about that. He was given the option to direct whatever the fuck he wanted. If he chose a movie that was already made under the
and also,
Zack Snyder.
I shouldn't have
Going
used
back-
James
going
Gunn
back
as an
to
example.
James
So
Gunn,
whenever I
too.
hear about his Dave's
like James Gunn, I mean, Flightcast in here, which you guys obviously who's part of your guys' world, Mr. Flightcast. I guess
part of what world?
Yes, the Squadcast world. There you go. He brought up a point that James Gunn,
Flightcast.
if we were going to talk about directors that interact with their audience on social media, James Gunn is up
Yeah,
there.
he does.
Yeah.
He definitely is. But I was actually going to bring up the point to you, like when Ezra Miller showed up on Crisis, I mean, that's when everything started going, wait a minute, they can have all these. And we've been saying that since that happened, where it's like, yeah, HBO Max can be a part of a Earth 2 or whatever the fuck. It would be the Snyder Earth, whatever the hell.
Well, actually,
it started with Jim Lee.
You brought up James Gunn. Yeah, it started with Jim Lee, but the fact that you bring up James Gunn, the fact that he kind of understood that I'm not going to do a Superman film after Zack did a fucking Superman film. Like, he understood that difference.
A different version, which I enjoy.
I know, and he produced it. He didn't direct it, but he still was like
set the tone to go in a different direction.
He got with his brother, and they went, "Wouldn't it be fucking crazy?"
He's like, "No, fuck that. I'm not doing that shit." But what he did was he said, "I'm going to do the Suicide Squad, but yet I'm going to potentially actually continue what David Ayer did." Just in case. Like, I think he did that as a backup. Like, I'm not erasing this, whatever happened in the Suicide Squad. Sorry, I didn't mean to add that. And so with his film, it's continuing with Harley. It's continuing after Birds of Prey. It's continuing all of that shit. And yet it's still part of Zack Snyder's world, which it'll probably be R-rated as well. And so I'm thinking
it will.
The fact that HBO and Steven, you brought up a good point, right? Look at what is going to be a DC fandom. Who the fuck is providing the funding for DC fandom? It ain't Warner Brothers, right? It's AT&T. And AT&T is dictating what the fuck they want to highlight, what they want to do. That's the reason why it probably got split up, because guess what? They went, the CW ain't shit. We don't give a shit about the CW. And no offense to anybody that watches CW shit. I don't
you're right.
I just mean it. I just mean it.
Dozens and dozens of fans are going to be mad at you.
Yeah.
Hey guys, what's your favorite CW show?
Guys, now let's be fair though. That with the split into 2 days, there are some CW panels that got actually added into Hall of Heroes as part of the. Yes,
I had no idea.
Yes,
no idea.
The Flash TV show one got added, and a couple of others, because I think part of what happened is that they probably started tracking everyone who checked the box of what panel they're scheduled.
You're right.
And what they saw was there was these massive conflicts where, and I think I even talked about this last week when I was on Vodka Stream, was there were panels that I just had to go, would I watch this if I had the chance? I had to skip it because it conflicts with two other panels that I wanted to see. And I honestly think that they looked at it and went, we have all this great content. They thought it would be cool to generate a live con where you actually had to make those decisions. But what they discovered was there were entire panels that just got
obliterated by all the
obliterated by the schedule.
Yeah. But the way that they had it is that they had both of them running parallel, one on the same day and then rerun it again the next day. Why not run Also Hero on Saturday and then everything else on the next day?
But the point was, Ben, is that when I was trying to do my schedule, even if I stayed up for 24 hours straight, which I knew that logistically I wasn't going to be able to do, I still couldn't fit everything in. I still had to drop things. So what they've done, but look what they've done. They've taken the Hall of Heroes, which was going to be this 8 hours of programming that's going to repeat 3 times over the 24-hour period. Then on that second day, everything on that second day is on demand. You don't have to watch it at a specific time. You just have to watch it on that day, but you don't have to schedule out your day the way that the original model was working. So they basically saw, this is the stuff that's generating the most interest and the most hype, and we want to have it on our main day. This is all the stuff that's like, this will be cool. Like, there's some interest, but let's put it on another day where people can go a la carte and get to it when they want. In a little bit more of a San Diego Comic-Con at home style, where you can literally
it'd be more WizardCon, but whatever.
Well, I didn't see the WizardCon model, so I don't have the frame of reference.
I'm just kidding. I'm just making a joke.
But
this guy.
Yeah, but I think that's the thing that they had, because I mean they really had 3 good pieces of data that they could look at, because I'm sure they formulated their plans for DC Fandom before any of this stuff came out, and they had this idea of what they thought it was going to be. But like between Justice Con, they certainly learned a lot from that, from that fan convention. They had to have learned a ton from Comic-Con at home, because all that data is public, right? You can just look and see what's getting views and what's not. And then the third thing was the schedules. Once they put those schedules out there, which was a brilliant idea, because like they got very quickly tons and tons of data,
analytics,
exactly, like what's working, what's not, and you could see like how quickly did they make that adjustment and shift it into 2 days.
Oh yeah,
it was almost immediate. Like once they got the data, they're probably like, oh shit, this isn't working. We need to
they knew that everybody's was gonna stay in Wholesale Heroes the entire.
Oh yeah, and something else and something that got dropped, for instance, was the world premiere of the next animated movie. That was supposed to be a thing. Now what they did was that's complete. The world premiere is completely gone, and what they changed it with is that the digital release of the movie is Sunday. They're just dropping. They're dropping. If you pre-ordered it, it's being released on Sunday.
Yeah. Is that available on HBO Max or no?
No, well, not yet. What they've been doing is that for all the animated direct-to-video movies, it goes. What's been doing has been going on DC Universe 3 months after the digital sale date, because today was when Apocalypse War dropped on DC Universe. So it's 3 months after you could. They give it basically a 3-month window to buy it, either digitally or physical, and then they drop it on the streaming services.
Indeed.
Oh,
Hey,
okay.
Mr. Chris,
We're not sure if they're going to do that with this one, though.
Yeah.
We don't really know what's happening.
I didn't get your. I wanted to get your opinion on the Matt Reeves Batman Jim Lee art and even the logo. We didn't really talk about the logo and the font and with the bat and everything. Chris, you go first.
The Joker font? Yeah, the Joker font.
Which one? Sorry.
Are you awake there, Chris?
Yeah, I am awake.
Hot dogs.
Not
I
as
know.
good
I heard a lot of different voices.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, don't tell me about your problems. But so when it comes to like the Matt Reeves Batman and the Jim Lee art and the logo, what were your thoughts about that?
I thought it looked great. I thought it looked great, and I'm surprised. Actually, it's like really red. Like that, like the
Victory
teaser was red, and I was like, "Is there double?" But now even the logo and the official, the picture from Jim Lee is like red, and I like that stark difference between that and other Batmans we've seen before. Like it's usually like black or yellow or just dark, but this is like it's blatantly red, and I'm like, is this about vengeance? Is this about revenge? Because it has like a lot of that.
Yep.
Like really dark, maybe even violent to it. So it's almost not as
R-ratedness to it.
There you go.
But another thing, Chris, going with that is I think about Batman the Animated Series when they went into the last season when it became the new adventures. Gotham was always red sky, it was always this weird red skies, and so I love that aesthetic.
Well, and then let's also remember, I mean, we talk about Long Halloween. Well, Dark Victory.
Which
has that same like color palette, right?
Yeah, I tweeted something out because I saw that. I was like, wait, the poster. It looks like a Dark Victory poster. Yeah. And I think
all I know is
listen, it's a question for everybody here. John, shut the fuck up. Let me ask the question.
I'm sorry.
I love it when they fight.
Sorry. I apologize.
Daddy fight it.
I'm going to drink.
Because we had this conversation on the Real Emotion podcast.
Oh shit!
Exactly why I drink. That's why I fucking drink, assholes.
No, he thinks that this movie could potentially be rated R. What do you guys think? You, Dave, starting with you.
Well, I think there's potential because I mean, we can go back to what Robert Pattinson said and how like it frees up what you can do because he wants to push the character as far as he can, and so does Matt Reeves. And I think, of course, they'd be open to it, but I mean, it's really difficult because I mean, Batman is their biggest property, and I mean, it's going to be difficult for them to just be like, oh yeah, let's just fucking do it. But I mean, technically, we already had an R-rated Batman. I mean, if you want to really be technical, I mean, the Ultimate Edition of BVS is rated R. I mean,
It is.
Does it, yeah, I mean, does it really need to be? Is it just like a super hard PG-13? You know, yeah, that's up for debate right there, because you watch the Ultimate Edition, it's like, you know, there's no real F-bombs. I mean, there's some blood that they got rid of for the theatrical, and there's Ben Affleck's bare ass. Okay, big deal. Do you see backsack? No. No, but you know,
this is
backsack, huh?
Yeah, that's right.
This is all I'm saying. This is the only reason why I'm saying, and
skip
and
right
I
over
mentioned
Scott,
this.
We're gonna skip over Scott.
Yeah. Why the
Left
fuck
to
not?
right.
It was my goddamn question.
Left to
You
right.
not remember
No, it
when
was
I
Ben's
fucking asked
question.
it? Oh, was it? Oh, well, Ben got it from me. So technically, it was my question.
I don't know. He said
Scott,
it
go
first.
on, dude.
Taking your question.
I'm literally.
And this is why I drink.
I'm gonna be honest, Ben. I think I've even lost it. The question was whether it would be rated R or not.
Yes.
I'm gonna say there's always the potential, because let's be honest, an R rating happens in the edit room. That's I mean, you can shoot it and it can be R, it can be PG-13, but that's ultimately an editing decision. Would I see an R-rated Batman movie? Of course, I'm going to see it. It's a Batman movie. I'll see whatever.
Absolutely.
Sell. It could
I
sell.
don't think it will be.
I mean,
It was. There's always arguments for and against when it comes to R-rated movies. But the point is that there's always successful R-rated movies and there's always unsuccessful R-rated movies. And what that decision, that key factor is into which ones are successful and which ones aren't, you know, I don't really know. I don't think just being an R-rated movie by itself is a factor whether it's going to be successful or not. Yeah. But if I can get a hardcore noir Batman movie the way Matt Reeves has been selling it, if he wants to show Batman beating the absolute shit out of bad guys like we know he actually does, if you want to depict a dark, grimy Gotham City, I don't see why the R rating is going to be off the table, especially with this HBO
GCPD.
The police department drama on it's going to be HBO. There is no HBO Max series ever that's not TVMA. It just doesn't happen. So if you want the series to work in with the movie, I can see the movie being R or at least being a very hard PG-13.
I think it's hard PG-13.
Yeah, me too. And then they're gonna go hard R on the series. But go ahead,
Ben,
Matt.
So Ben, what do you think? No, we should go to you, Ben. You're next.
No, we heard Ben. We heard Ben last night. No, fuck it.
I didn't. You. I'm curious.
Well, that's your fault. Who didn't fucking watch us last night? That would be you, because you didn't fucking join us, okay?
That was your fault.
Okay. Garza, calm down. Matt,
I'm sorry.
Talk. Matt, talk.
Matt, what are your thoughts on an R-rated Batman? Sorry.
What are you drinking
now? Oh, now I got orange juice and tequila.
There it is. Dude, tequila.
Now it's a party.
Drinking out of the comic movie mug.
Yes, exactly. I was just about to promote that on the most recent Comic Movie Marks live stream, which was just before this, and Dave had to cut it short.
Of course,
his damn shit started. On the vodka stream started, so that's double. Anyway. So we were talking about this, and I had to argue with Garza in the comments about it. So
wait, you do that too? Shit.
Yeah.
We'll do it to everybody.
Okay, Matt, answer the question. Come on, Matt.
So my thing was, as we were saying on that live stream, was that the marketing and the merchandising and the promotion, how it works. It's hard for me to see one of the biggest superhero IPs going the R-rated route at this point, because even if AT&T is like, hey, let's just throw everything against the wall, let's do everything, multiverse, all this crap, there's still that basic fundamental business sense that you still want to sell toys. And I know, as Garza was mentioning and others, that Deadpool still sells toys and he's rated R, but he's a comical character. He's making chimichanga jokes and stuff like that. Batman's not funny. Hopefully, unless he's in Justice League, then he's funny. Then he bleeds.
Batman 66.
I'm gonna have to bring this up though too. Like when Terminator 2 came out,
that was my next thing.
Yes, like I mean, they sold toys like crazy. I collected all those.
Yeah, I had so
many. Matt mentioned that on the comic book marks because I watch
Who the fuck are
guys.
Yeah, who's that?
Fucking comic movie marks. People that don't know about green screen.
Oh, that was a low blow. That was a low blow.
That's what you fucking get for fucking taking over my response. Okay, sorry. I'm sorry.
But yeah, we did bring that up. We were talking about as kids. We had toys from Aliens. We had toys from Terminator, RoboCop. You know, we had toys from all any Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, Predator. We had them all.
Yeah.
They all blew up. They all did things. They shot rockets from their crotch. We had it all, and and that never bothered us. That never bothered.
What kind of toys were you buying?
You never saw that Punisher one?
Well, let's keep it real. Ben grew up with the cup and the ball, whatever fucking toy.
Yeah. No lie. Everybody knows. I had the original Adam West fucking bat.
Exactly.
So
Jesus Christ.
We watched that in college.
I'm dead serious. I'm
Okay,
dead
so
serious.
you do color your beard. Is that what's going on?
Yeah, absolutely. Go on, Matt.
Steven, this hasn't been this. You know, you've been pretty quiet,
He's
which
been,
is not
he's
like
been
you.
quiet
Yeah,
for
I
like
know,
20
that's-
fucking minutes.
What do you
It's
think
weirding
about
me
the?
out.
I mean, first off, Matt, were you done or should I?
Yeah, I'm pretty much. That's pretty much the gist of it.
Yeah.
I just say with the red thing though. I just want to mention that Chris was talking about the test footage was in red. The
Yes.
pictures
Yes.
it is in red. So
Yeah.
it definitely red is a theme. But Snyder's is blue. If you look at that thing's blue.
Yep.
I don't know. I feel like I'm getting. I feel like you're getting true director visions anyway. That's what I feel like because you're getting these things.
That's what we want, and that's what
And that bat logo. I just wanted to. I know this is kind of diverting a little bit, but that bat logo. I love that bat logo.
Oh,
I
so
love it. And like it really I saw somebody put a collage of all the bat logos, and I'm like, my eyes immediately shot to that one. And I don't know if it's just because it's the new shiny one or because I've seen the other ones. So many it just I love how it looks. That gun hold handle just looks so good as a bat logo.
So anyway, switch knife.
Yeah. So anyway, go ahead. Whoever was supposed to go next.
Yeah, Steven, what do you think about the R rating possibility for Matt Reeves' Batman?
Fuck do you point there?
That's an exclusive, by the way.
I know it's hard, Matt. It's really hard.
It's my exclusive, by the way. Steve,
Okay, well,
so talk on my
claim
exclusive.
claim it.
Go for it. Yeah, go for it because I predicted it. That's an
Oh
exclusive.
God!
So go for
You
it.
have all the cloud. It's okay.
Okay, Steven, go save us.
Yeah, it's been talked about for a while. I think that there are two big things that kind of factor into that, and the first is you got to remember that Matt Reeves kind of got them over a barrel to like give him the farm when he signed on, so he has a lot of pull in to do whatever he wants to do. So I think I imagine Warner Brothers or Warner Media or whoever holds the keys probably wants it to be a PG-13, and they're okay with him doing like as hard of a PG-13 as possible. I think he can convince them to make it R, and I think he has a lot of pull to in his like contract to get them to make it R. I think the biggest question, and this is the one that hasn't been reported on and we don't really know, is what is the budget? If they gave him like $200 million to do this movie, or I can't see it being 250. But if they gave him $200 million, then I don't really see
it's PG-13. Yeah,
there's no way they're
PG-13. Yeah.
And it's Matt Reeves, so who knows? If it's $150 million, I bet he's got a really good chance of making that an R-rated movie. If it's like $150 million or less, and with it being Matt Reeves, that he's fully capable of doing that.
Can I just say this though? Can I interject real quick? So let's just assume, right? Because this is before COVID, right? He walked away for whatever reason. He walked away. Okay, doesn't matter what the reason was. When he comes back, it's reported and it's said that he has final cut authority, right? Which means that I'm guessing that he said, I don't want to be limited to a PG-13 rating. I'm not saying I'm going to go R-rated. I'm just saying I don't want to be limited to a PG-13 rating. He walked away, comes back because they say, you know what? Jeff Johns went, all right, I'm getting told by my higher-uppers that I got to give you the go-ahead. So he gets the go-ahead. And now all of a sudden, in the middle of filming, they have to stop production. Now Matt Reeves is going, all right, well, since we were basically debating on whether I was going to go R-rated or not, because at the end of the day, they haven't shot the entire movie, so they don't know what it's going to be. if I wanted to go R-rated or not, doesn't matter. I have the option of going to HBO Max, and guess what? I have a show that's going to be on HBO Max. So now, guess what? If I want to make it R-rated, I can. I have the ability to because I'm going to have an HBO Max show that's involved with my entire fucking film with my Batman. It's going to be involved with it by an acclaimed writer that's already written for Martin Scorsese and directed full-on episodes for Boardwalk Empire. If you guys haven't seen it, but like, dude, that's big. Pardon my French. That's big Ray Parker energy. You get what I mean? Like, dude, that's full-on like
energy.
Yeah,
now,
that's lightsaber in the mouth, fucking energy, dude.
Lightsaber in the mouth.
Ouch. That sounds painful. No, I was just looking up the Planet of the Apes movies from Matt Reeves, and I was like, I couldn't remember if they were like R or PG-13 because you watch it, it's like there's some deep shit in there, and there's some fucking some violent scenes in there. It is PG-13.
Yeah, they're PG-13.
It is.
And the budget of Dawn was 170 million.
170, but War was 150. So
exactly.
and War looks better. And War looks better than Dawn.
Well, Dawn had included a bunch of R&D that they then benefited off of for War.
Yeah.
So I mean,
but that's my point, though, right?
Yeah.
He knows how to shoot CGI characters if he needs it, if he wants it. But he also knows that if I believe that if he came back and he was like, I'm walking away, okay? Because I truly believe, and I'm not bullshitting, I truly believe Jeff Johns was like, no fucking way we can have an R-rated Batman. We can't. If you're going to tell me that you can't make a PG-13 Batman, I don't want you involved. So Matt walked away. He was like, all right, fuck you then. And guess what? Yeah. The higher-ups above Johns, because this is whenever John started having his falling out, the higher-ups were like, what the fuck are you doing letting Matt Reeves walk away, dude? Like,
yeah. Well, it's not even just the higher-ups, but it's that just the optics. Like, it was at that point in time in the DC Films world,
February 2017,
it was more important for them to have a director signed to direct a Batman movie than anything else. If they had a Batman, if Ben Affleck left and they didn't have someone in the director's chair ready to do another movie, it's just like their PR was like unrecoverable already, and that's just like a nail in the coffin. That like, and so even if the higher ups weren't saying it, that's Jeff Johns trying to save his job to nail that down. I actually, and I don't know if it's the higher ups or not, but my assumption is that Jeff actually did that to signed everything away in an attempt to save his job in order to be like, look, I secured Matt Reeves. Look at what I did, and then it wasn't enough. And actually now, because of his panicked decision making, Matt Reeves, to our benefit, has way more pull than he should have logically been given.
He's advertising everything in red.
But what do we also think we're going to get? Because the Batman panel is kind of the capstone of the. I mean, it's the last panel it's the last one of the 8-hour cycle. So
it's one of the longest too.
How long is it, Matt?
30 minutes.
30 minutes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's long.
That's long.
Snyder got
Zack
25.
25 minutes.
Suicide Squad.
About 5 extra minutes. Right? 5 extra minutes can do wonders.
Well, if they have footage, yes. Anyways, but like,
wait, which one are we talking
about? I don't even know.
Wait, what are we talking about? I thought we were on Comic Book Smart. Like, sorry, I apologize.
All right, everybody.
I thought I was going to go into porn route.
Shows.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, everybody start over. No, but I think the Suicide Squad 50 minutes, right? 50.
It's 40. It's 40 or 50, and I think that might just because of
it's such a cast.
Is the cast? Yeah,
30 minutes.
Yeah, that one you need a lot.
Yeah, it says 30 minutes.
30 minutes Suicide Squad.
Oh, 30 minutes now.
Yeah.
I thought it was 50. Damn.
But there's been some shifting around because even Snyder's panel, because that's the one that we're keeping that's the one that we have like the time like burned in our brains.
45.
It got moved 15 minutes earlier. So obviously with the shifting around the schedule, the panels obviously didn't change links only because they're pre-recorded. But obviously stuff got rearranged and time got crunched.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, because like with the Zack Snyder's Justice League, and it was Black Adam panel right afterwards. Now they have shoved the Flash TV panel in there, and that's where that 15 minutes gets made up now. because it's a 15-minute panel. So they shoved that in there. And then, of course, I think the Titans one got shoved in somewhere else. And that's where they're making up some of these gaps. You know, the to be announced got announced. Is somebody... Oh, he's sneezing.
No, I'm just laughing.
Like,
What the fuck is that noise? All I'm thinking of is like just whatever.
Yeah, shoving in gaps. I know what I was saying. Okay,
exactly. Putting it in, mind the gap, fucking making hole, whatever.
Finding holes. I got you.
Yeah. All I'm saying is, and here's my opinion, and I said this last night, literally on the Real Emotion. So that's for y'all.
Yay!
I had said that. I feel like if they had these secret announcements, or if they had these like surprise panels or movies that they were going to announce, if they were important, they would not have taken them away, like literally. And I said this. They had one for tomorrow. I truly believe, and this is my gut. This has nothing. I'm not claiming exclusive. Believe me, I'm not. So
damn, you love that word.
If you do, you
I know. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
and I apologize that I'm not saying it's an exclusive. So I
know who loves it more though.
I know, and I feel like what that like secret panel movie was going to be was a Jeff Johns inspired or produced film of Green Lantern to lead into the Green Lantern series.
That was
for HBO Max.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, I feel like it was
was
because we didn't know about a movie coming out. We knew about a series coming out that he was producing, but we didn't know about a movie.
Yeah, we did.
We knew about Green Lantern Corps.
Green Lantern Corps. We heard about it.
Yeah, we heard about that in 2014 when Kevin Sujihara was running the game.
No, we've been
okay.
No, we know about both of them.
Yeah.
When? Okay.
Well, it's
either
been
way.
like even when Jeff Johns got booted from both DC Films and from being the chief creative officer at DC Comics, when he went and created Mad Ghost Productions, Green Lantern Corps was on his listing of what he was working on for DC Films, because that was because I remember when that happened, those of us who have been following the story was like, what happened to Goyer? Because it went from being Goyer's movie to being John's movie.
Well, and it was funny because he kept it on his website. Like it was supposed to come out technically like last week, if I'm not mistaken. Like it was supposed to like be into theaters last week. And so here's the thing. And again, whether it was announced or not, like I feel like that was gonna be the purpose of that secret panel, because technically, that had been announced, but it had never been like brought to the forefront of all news. And so all of a sudden we get it, this thing gets split up and that gets taken away. I can only feel like obviously that film, whatever it was going to be, wasn't important. I mean, that's what I think.
It was so important it gets its own thing in general.
Well,
its own day.
It's also not big enough to be a it was small enough to be swept under the rug.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to hide that kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Interesting.
So it was no Superman announcement
tomorrow.
I know. I was banking.
So it was not what David was and Superman 2. I'm sorry, Chris. Your thoughts on it still too.
But another thing we were talking about over at Squadcast Media was the fact that that. There you go. I've become the new Steven because we have yet to get a BVS by the minute plug, and I'm just it's hurting me here.
Yeah,
dude, I drank. Yeah, that's.
Yeah, I know, right? But that multiverse 101 panel, it was brought up today. That's a 30-minute long panel. Why do you need 30 minutes for the multiverse? I mean, let's be honest. The Flash TV show did it in 5, and they did a really good job of explaining what a multiverse is. So it's like, why do you need a 30-minute panel? So it's like what's that? And I think it was pointed out that Hamada is on that panel.
Yeah, he is. Yep.
And Berlanti is on that panel too.
Greg Berlanti. Yep.
And so it's like, what are you talking about?
Finally,
for 30 minutes.
That got upgraded a lot because I remember when we first looked at it, it was 15. So that's one of the things that got a severe jump in.
Interesting. It makes you wonder if like maybe some announcements are going to happen.
Like maybe some stuff got shoved into that panel.
Could be.
Yeah. Because people there's some complaints how it's like it's only 30 minutes or 25 minutes. 25 minutes is a long time.
That is a long. Chris, that's an entire. That's one of your videos.
Yeah,
Like,
it's one of my videos on Ping Pong Flick Show. Yeah.
Exactly. There you go.
Jesus.
See, I did it for you. There we go. I'm looking out for my boy.
Oh shit, you are going straight from the bottle. Damn, dude.
I mean, I have a baby in one arm, and I didn't bring a glass. I thought I'd have a chance to get a glass. I just couldn't.
Dude.
Drinking out of his bubba. Yeah.
But here's the thing.
Wow.
But to your point about the length is that, but I think keeping them short is good because I said this, I think last week, or maybe I said it on our show, those Comic-Con at home panels that were an hour long, they didn't need to be an hour long. And I was glad that I was able to scrub through them to kind of trim the fat out of them. So I think having them shorter, what I'm hoping is that it's quality over quantity. Yes, it's not a long panel, but we get to the actual news or the actual reveals like that. And we don't have a lot of that banter. Let's talk to every individual cast member. That I really don't care about these little tidbit stories. Just where's the beef?
Yeah, I've seen some criticism about how short the panels are. And I think a lot of people, including the professional commentators, are missing is that this is a highly produced event. So like
some of them are
we're not talking about like people getting up and answering fan questions. We're talking about like they did the Zoom call or the interview or whatever, and like whatever Snyder did, this is all edited to be a consumable thing in and of itself. And so the nature of what they're doing is entirely different than like the fatal flaw of many things that Comic-Con at home did wrong. What they try to do is recreate the Comic-Con experience digitally. And the way they did that, I think JusticeCon did a way better job because it was smaller and able to engage directly with the fans more. But with Comic-Con at home, they've not only pre-recorded everything, but then revealed it in a medium that is designed to encourage fan engagement. So there was no engagement, which is why people go to Comic-Con in the first place. But it was done in a way that is only consumed by people who intend to engage. Whereas this is going to be they scripted it, they did the presentation, they edited it down,
hyper edited probably.
Yeah, exactly. So it's going to be every panel is going to be like the like that CW special maybe that they did before BBS.
Oh, I remember that with Jeff Johns and Kevin Smith.
It wasn't the greatest thing in the world either, but it's better than a Comic-Con panel.
Yeah, it was kind of it was cringy watching that a little bit because
it was.
I love Kevin Smith, but when he gets like overly excited and like he does that, hey man, I'm just like, hey man, like settle down, dude. And then you got Jeff Johns who's just like, he's not camera friendly. I mean, he's not that guy. I mean, he was always a comic.
Listen. What I'm gonna say is fuck Jeff Johns, okay? I don't give a shit about what he has or what he did. Fuck him and everything that he did. He literally it's been 5 years since he's fucked this entire world up for us. All of us. Like every single time we wanted to go and see this film or
even
see Justice League and all
that.
He fucked up Green Lantern. Like, dude, that's literally my fucking whole thing is Green Lantern. And he fucked that up. So all I'm saying is I'm thankful that, and it's ironic. It's not ironic, but I think it was planned, obviously, that Ray Fisher comes out and says Warner Media is backing him up and investigating Jeff Johns, John Berg, and Joss Whedon. That's big. That's
what I was going to say.
That's another thing.
Add some tinfoil to it. I think there's some.
Dude, tinfoil. Where's your hat, Chris?
There's Chris.
He said, "Hey, you don't even have your tinfoil hat anymore." Oh yeah, it's up there.
It's still back there.
Yeah. But I think there's some throw away. It's Zack Snyder's
at home, or not Comic-Con at home. DC fandom is split into 2 categories, and a bunch of the stuff gets rescheduled for September 12th, I think.
Yep.
And currently, Johns is no longer slated to appear on any of the panels tomorrow.
No.
The panel are all rescheduled until the 12th. And this happens like 2 days before Ray Fisher announces on Twitter that an official investigation has finally been, they're finally undergoing an official investigation. There's no way, like they know all these, they knew ahead of time, right? There's no way they wanted Johns at the event getting attention as when they know he's under investigation. And so there's a part of me that wonders if that's why Affleck was announced early. Also, I mean, Johns was a producer on The Flash.
Here? Can I interrupt you real quick? Only because I didn't talk about it. Listen.
Yeah.
Only because I didn't talk about it, and I didn't bring it up when I wrote my exclusive, literally my exclusive, on Real Anarchy about Jeff Johns and Ben Affleck and why he didn't make the Ben Affleck fucking film of Batman. I had said on there that Jeff Johns was a big part of it, right? And the fact that all of a sudden, and I mentioned this literally, and I'm plugging myself again, and I didn't even drink again, on The Real Emotion a couple of weeks ago about Jeff Johns being involved with The Flash. Here's the thing. I had said that Jeff Johns was doing stuff behind the scenes, that there was some shady shit about The Flash and how he didn't want Ezra Miller involved with it and how he was trying to get Ryan Reynolds to get to whatever the Flash movie was going to be. And all of a sudden, we hear that not only is Ezra Miller going to be the Flash and he's appearing at DC Fandom, but now Ben Affleck is going to be in part of the Flash film.
He's giving feedback on the script.
Exactly. And he's getting script advice. The fact that is all happening, that means, and it tells me that part of his, like, hey, I'm only going to do this if Jeff Johns is involved. And guess what?
Go back.
I'm questioning whether or not Affleck said, I will sign for the Flash if you investigate, I mean,
yep.
This is even more tinfoil, but how much pull would Affleck have in saying, hey, look, I'll sign for this role if you take this investigation seriously?
Yep.
Well, and the fact that if we go back to when Ben Affleck was working on his Batman script, there was a point where the script went from being a Ben Affleck script to being a Ben Affleck and Jeff Johns script.
Yeah.
And he was and Jeff Johns was doing what apparently reportedly he was doing the entire time, which was, as I talk about him being a writer and wanting that creative control, is he was going back and doing rewrites on everybody else's work.
And this is when Affleck is living through these rewrites on the set of Justice League. I mean, that's what turned him off to the character entirely also. And if you look at somebody pulled out a great quote from an interview that went up that had Johns in there the other day, and he was talking about, he's like, oh, I'll be working on a movie and people will be talking about this scene. They'll try to work out a scene for like a long time. Forget about it. I'll just rewrite it in 15 minutes. And it's like, that's it. Like, and I don't know what he was talking about, but it reminded me of like Snyder plans these scenes so intricately.
Right.
And Snyder will spend a lot of time setting up a shot. He'll spend a lot of time making sure he gets those things right. And literally, per his own words in this interview, Johns was like, yeah, if it takes too long to set it up, I will just rewrite it to make it work the way that I want it to.
Wow.
And that's the problem with imagine trying to work with that as Affleck, who's like trying to work this movie out, and Johns was like, I'll just fix it real quick because I'm a good writer.
So no, there was that initial anybody else's.
There was that initial quote from a while back in 2017 when Snyder left and Jeff Johns and John Berg and all them start taking over more. He did the rushed hope and optimism, but he also talks about how, and it was, a lot of people took it as a direct shot about the deconstruction of characters. And he's like, some of these people just don't understand the comic books like I do. And I try to extend that arm to him and try to tell him how this character should be. And he goes like that. And I'm just like, man, this dude is just like, he's really into himself. He's really, really into himself. And that quote that Steven just talked about, it's just, you add that one to that one and probably many others, you just kind of get how this guy acts with anybody, really anybody. I could just see a big...
Well, and I have a question. When it comes to Hall of Heroes, am I not mistaken, but isn't the Three Jokers panel still scheduled for tomorrow?
Is it?
Yeah, but Jeff Johns is not involved with it. That's Jason Fabro.
But that's the weird thing isn't that interesting that if there's a Three Jokers panel, which he wrote, but yet he's not involved in the panel? Because it kind of reminds me of how Jason Fabok, the artist, has been the only one on social media doing any promotion for the book. It's like even DC Comics knows, let's not advertise the fact that Johns wrote the book. Let's let the artist, who is a very well-known artist and a very good artist, be the one out there promoting this book.
Yeah, and I'll say, I could be wrong on this. Maybe Johns will be involved in some of this. All I know is that when Variety reported about the Ray Fisher thing, they mentioned that Johns will only be showing up at the September 12th panel.
Yes, I read that. Yeah.
So that's what I'm leaning on for this. Is I'm assuming they've got they were making this. They weren't just, and it's Variety. I got to put more stock in them than whatever else.
So you think they put that in knowing what they know, but putting it in as a kind of a guesstimate kind of. That's
well,
why.
yeah, so I don't know is as I'm assuming that was sourced and not we're just assuming that all the that he's only going to show up at that.
You know what's
Well, I
interesting
heard
is
that,
seeing these new articles that just plop out, like the one that was from March about Patty Jenkins talking about, Jeff Johns is. I'm like, that's in March.
I know.
And it's
Mhm.
dropped
Yeah, I know.
Kind of
for
weird.
some reason.
Well,
Yeah.
and that's what I'm saying. Like
my assumption with that
so-
one was that the interview was done back in March and it was under embargo for the Wonder Woman, either the premiere or whenever the embargo lifted on the set visit and stuff. And then Wonder Woman just got pushed back and pushed back and pushed back so long that eventually they were like, look, if we don't release this interview now, it's going to be irrelevant by the time Wonder Woman actually comes out. So they said, let's do it before Fandom. And so everyone is like, oh, they coordinated it for a Jeff Johns thing. It's like, I don't really buy that. But I think it lines up with now is the most sensible time to lift that embargo because based on the article was talking about COVID and COVID was just starting up when they were doing the interview. And there's no way that article is still, I shouldn't say no way, but it's going to be a lot less relevant like right before Wonder Woman comes out than it would be right before Fandom comes out. Yeah. And that's when they usually drop these things is whenever there's like a peak in.
Well, all I know is when it comes to Jeff Johns, he was trying to do something with the Justice League and the Watchmen and combine all their history and all that shit and combine it into this basically a new rebirth into a new universe. And DC and Jim Lee was like, nope, you're not going to do that this time, dude. Sorry. And that's why it kept getting delayed and delayed and delayed until all of a sudden it ends on a lackluster. I don't want to know about the spoilers, so don't tell me about it because I haven't read it. But from what I hear, it finished off like that's really it. That's how you.
Oh no, that is exactly how it finished off. Yes,
exactly. And so if you can understand that, if you can go, that Jim Lee was like, you're not fucking taking over DC Comics anymore, dude. Like, if you wanted this to be the fucking starting point to whatever, like a flashpoint, but 7 years later, sorry, that's not going to happen, dude.
No, what
Finish
it
your story
was.
however you want.
Well, that was the thing. Like when you read that Rebirth one shot, what he's doing is he's trying to erase the New 52 Flash. I mean, he wrote Flashpoint. It's okay. Brief history lesson. He wrote Flashpoint. Flashpoint was not supposed to be a reboot. It was just supposed to be a 5-issue miniseries. It was a Dan DiDio decision when issue 3 came out to say, hey, let's use this to do the reboot, which launched into the New 52. And then they saw how the New 52 went. So Jeff Johns was like, hey, let's not do a reboot. Let's use this so that I can tell a story that then reverses the New 52 continuity, and then by the end of Doomsday Clock, we can be back.
So Jeff Johns said, let's just write our way out of it.
Yes, exactly.
Same thing.
Yeah, and then what they did was, no, we're not going to let you do that. We're going to give this to Scott Snyder, and Scott Snyder's going to go do death metal, and is going to do what you were planning on doing, but, make it metal.
Awesome. And that's what's interesting about it. Is like Jeff Johns was truly into his head. Like, hey, when he was in head of DC films, he was telling Rick, hey, this is what I think you should do. This is how I think you should do your film. Rick was like, that's not what I signed up for. Zach told me about this. You're telling me now I got to do this. All right, I'm out. That's why he leaves. Now all of a sudden Jeff's telling Ben, hey, this is how you got to do this. This is how you got to do that. You got to write the story. Ben's like, that's not what Zach told me. Now, all right, fuck you, I'm out. The only person that listened to me, and I don't mean it this way. I don't know about anything. All I'm saying, the only person that listened to Jeff Johns about anything.
Don't say it.
Okay.
You're gonna get canceled.
Is what? Patty Jenkins?
She rewrote the fucking third act of Wonder Woman, right? And guess what? Jeff Johns was telling her, hey, you can do a sequel to Wonder Woman. It's not going to tie to anything that Zach was doing. You can do a third film for Wonder Woman. It's not going to tie to anything that Zach's doing. And all of a sudden, Jeff gets the boot. AT&T comes in. They buy him out. They go, hey, Zach, we're liking what you're doing. People are talking about your film from fucking BVS. We want to get you involved. here, how can we get you involved? We want to make sure that everything that's tied to your Zack Snyder's Justice League continues on. How do we do that? Patty Jenkins, you thought you had a story for Wonder Woman 3? We need that to actually tie into Zack Snyder's Justice League. Oh, that's the reason why she left fucking Marvel. Like, dude, it starts to make sense. Like, I'm not saying that Patty's against Zack. All I'm saying is Patty's against
you are
having creative freedom. That's all. So it's a little different.
Yeah, there's all kinds of conspiracies, and I think we should divert it now and talk about what we expect to see in the trailer, the new trailer, the new teaser trailer.
Everything.
Zack Snyder's Justice League. Sorry, I'm going to say Zack Snyder's
214 is the timestamp right now.
No, it's not going to be 214. Nah.
Amazing.
Now, is that what it is?
Yeah,
right now.
Yeah, it's 214. Great timing, James.
See?
214 doesn't mean anything anymore.
Yeah, see? No, it doesn't mean shit anymore, but whatever.
It means something to me, damn it.
Yes. Yeah, no. But, I mean, when it comes to the length of the trailer, what is going to be in the trailer, first off, Chris, what say you? What do you think? What are you expecting to see in the trailer?
Well, I've said before, like probably the real Steppenwolf,
of course.
Or Uxas.
No, you're
Stop it, Chris.
You're an ass.
Uxas.
How do you say umbrella?
Umbrella.
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 Wait, how do you say universe?
Wait, it's not the umbrella?
And, hopefully you get a sneak peek of Black Suit Superman. But the teaser surprised me, seeing that Flash going on.
Oh my god!
I did not.
Yes, it was.
Did not think I was gonna shot. So now I don't know what we're gonna get. I think it's gonna be freaking awesome.
Can I just say this before I get Matt's thoughts on it, because I want to hear Matt's thoughts. So I did a periodic table of that fucking running of like Flash when he's resurrecting Superman, and I thought it was funny that they had a reshoot of him like running, but it was like a continuation of him running. It wasn't like splitting it from another section to another to him running again. It was just him running, and then all of a sudden it cut to him running again, but a reshoot. And I thought it was so fucking weird, and I pointed that out on like my little series that I do, and I went, "That's so fucking odd." And now when I see that he's running through whatever, I guess the Speed Force, it makes complete sense, because he was not running in the fucking resurrection scene. Like at that point, they had to fill that extra like however many seconds he was running. And I'm going, holy shit, how bad did Wheaton just go? Hey, I see that he's running through Speed Force and he's creating or actually manipulating time and space. Let's just go ahead and take that away. Let's just go ahead and make him run into fucking Krypton.
Yeah. Did I see somebody on the timeline say that they confirmed that was Zach's like favorite shot, like one of his favorite shots of the movie or something like that?
Yeah, somebody had said that.
I don't know where that was confirmed though.
No, I remember.
So Matt, so tell me about it, because like I was shocked that I went, dude, that makes sense. Why they would have reshot Flash running as Cyborg is counting down. That's all I'm saying. It didn't make sense to me, because I'm like, how was he gonna know like how fast Flash?
Because they had the imaginary Avengers radios. Remember, they were like, they were like, oh yeah, 3, 2, yeah.
Exactly.
I really hope they don't have
all your left.
So Matt, explain that to me, please, in theoretics. Okay, I want to
fucking know.
What
are you theoretically, yeah, he stole that scene and used it for different things, I guess. Okay, yeah, give my opinion on this trailer, the teaser.
Yes,
first?
please.
Yeah, what we're gonna expect.
Yeah, what do you
since Garza asked me some obscure question that I'm not.
I just wanted to sound smart.
You elaborated really well. You think it's a reused scene for a different purpose, which they did frequently. Like that's the reason why his name wasn't on the director sheet because that's all he did was reuse Snyder scenes for everything and just repurposed them for this scene, that scene, where they don't make sense at all, but he repurposed them to try to make sense out of them. And that's how you save yourself a credit or two. And anyway, so by what we expect at Fandom, I would probably say, obviously, Steppenwolf, some young Darkseid. I'll just go with that one. Yeah, and then probably just more glimpses into what the third act is, because obviously a lot of his movie is much different. Obviously, it's a huge difference, but the third act is one of the biggest differences, and of course, cyborg stuff. So I think that's what you're going to see is a lot of cyborg stuff and a lot of little glimpses into that third act to really get that across people's heads that it's a different movie. Because surprisingly, in the teasers, he's only been showing things that we kind of have already seen and somewhat, obviously, heavily altered now, or things that were leaked out. So
today's is probably the most different. I guess the Wonder Woman and Darkseid one was different, but like today's was like a bunch of stuff that we've seen, like the cyborg shot we've seen the snippet of, but we
didn't see him like the way that he's like crawling, and then you see that
this teaser was like the most different. Like
just seeing that little
teardrop.
That's how he described it, was a tear too. When he posted that picture, he talked about you would cry too. And so he's just kind of like elaborating. A lot of these teasers feel like they're all directed at us, the whole Brady bunch here, and so it feels like they're directed at us because it's the scenes that he's been showing, some of the leaked ones too, that I don't know, I feel are very deliberate as well. So I guess now we know where those came from anyway. But so I'm curious on the length, which anyway, the girth. I guess the girth and the length of this trailer, I'm very curious on.
Girth is very important.
Chris, how girthy do you
don't want to get fucked by a pencil?
God damn, I wouldn't. Jesus, I was talking about that.
Ben just went for it. Ben just went for it.
Great parking.
You're talking about fucking.
Hey, I want to hear what my co-host.
Yes, I was going to say.
Tim, come on.
Tim.
Over here.
Yeah, there you go. Tim, what do you think about the trailer? What are you expecting to see, or what do you want to see?
Yeah, I mean, I think Zach is going to come in and basically overwrite all the bullshit that we saw from from Joss Whedon's Justice League. All the terrible characterization that we had of Lois. I think he's going to distinctly do something to show her being the badass that she is. I think you're going to see you're not going to see any kind of humorous stuff from Aquaman. I think you'll see him in the back of that pickup truck, and that one scene that we've seen that's been deleted. I mean, I think you're going to see some of that. Obviously, you're going to see that spiky fucker, Steppenwolf. But I think it's going to be really intentional to kind of show us all the stuff that we missed out on, because I think that's going to be one of the biggest points that Zach needs to make is like they left a lot of good stuff on the table, and he's gonna make a point to kind of show these things. And I think like Matt, you were talking about Cyborg. I think that's gonna be one of the biggest things. I think you're gonna really kind of like dive into that whole heart of Justice League. That
like the scene at the grave, maybe. I could picture that one being in there. The scene where he's hitting the ground at the grave and everything. Just really, the tear goes with the tear and everything. Yeah. You can just bounce those between each other. Really show the heart of the movie.
And I think one of those ancient Ascendant Ancient clips, I think we're going to see.
I think he's going to make a huge emphasis on how different this is from the previous one, of course. Yeah. But one of the things that I was thinking about is those nightmare sequences that we he talked about it. That it's a lot more than what we had on BBS. I think we're going to get a glimpse of that, and I think we're going to get a glimpse of something that feels familiar, but at the same time, it's going to be conveyed in the way that it was meant to be on his movie.
I have a feeling that storyboard that Dave helped with, I really feel like I'm just saying, I have a feeling that something from that, maybe the Hall of Justice and Ruins, maybe
that's a nightmare.
Yes.
So then people go, wait, what?
Darkseid.
What's that? Yeah.
Well, do you think it's all going to be like basically putting the message out there that this is not the same movie that you think you already know and saw.
He has to achieve. Yeah.
Do you think it ends on an Omega symbol on a chest or eyes? Do you think it's going to end with red eyes or anything like that, just to give a good crescendo at the end?
I think it almost ends on the black suit. I'm
Black suit. Maybe Funky 2.0.
I think it ends on a nightmare. Some kind of like
Steven,
nightmare sequence.
Even you're
I think
kind
it's-
of fidgety. What do you think?
I don't know. I actually I know very little about this trailer in general for once.
Wow.
So it's like
Hashtag
for
shocked.
once, I love it.
Hashtag
Whoa.
shocked.
Yeah.
Oh damn!
Okay.
Is that a
Damn,
shot of
dude.
Garza?
I know, right? Let's hear it.
No,
What?
Steve was like,
I
what are
don't-
you talking about?
so I don't know. Like I think I've been thinking it would make sense. Like the thing that we haven't seen from Darkseid, we've just seen kind of what he looks like as Yuxas, but we haven't seen any like characterization or any voice. So that would be a cool tease to like end it with a tease.
Yeah.
we'll
of
hear
Yuxas.
that.
We
Um,
got to hear his voice. We have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to
Got a feeling
hear,
we're gonna hear
some
it.
of the original Steppenwolf, some of the sound of the original Steppenwolf voice. I'm really curious what they're gonna do with the music.
I want it to be Junkee. I
course,
really
it will.
Oh, it's
want
gonna
it
be
to
old
Junkee.
I know they're doing something interesting with the music, but I don't know how it's going to work, and so that's what I'm curious to find out.
Is he going to have like a combination of like with like an actual song, or is it just going to be full Junkee? I mean, that's what I'm kind of wondering myself. I mean, I love the Gary Clark Jr. and Junkee, like come together. That worked out very well.
Right.
You're not going to reuse that. You're going to do something different, and it's just, I mean, as much as the last trailer had elements of justice in it, the Heroes song did work for it. I will admit, like it was a decent trailer, but now that we kind of see like, oh yeah, they added the Russian family, it's kind of like, eesh. But it did work. It still did kind of work, the song. But I just kind of wonder, like, yeah, what is he going to put in there with Junkee XL that's just going to?
I'm going to tell you guys that one of the panels that's been that newly magically appeared on September 12th that I wish was actually tomorrow is that Junkee XL panel about the music of the Snyder Cut. I'm going to tell you that is like my most anticipated September 12th panel because I want to hear that because I need that Danny Elfman score like scrubbed from my memory.
Did anybody else get a Man of Steel vibe from those two teasers that he released?
A little bit, yes.
Okay.
I got some, honestly, Ben, I got some BVS vibes from them. Like at one
by
point,
the same guy.
Well, thank you, Matt.
You don't say.
But what I mean,
I'm here all week, guys.
but musically, I felt like I heard at one point something that sounded maybe a little bit like A Beautiful Lie, but definitely I felt like I was hearing a little bit of that dun 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 dun.
There's a little Batman.
But it felt that it pertained to that world. It pertained to those movies. It didn't feel like out of place. The song, the music, just fit in with the trailer and with that universe that we're already familiar with.
I mean, and one of the most frustrating things when it came to yesterday's little teaser is just that shot of the 4 league members, their feet, and the way it pulls back and they all land. Why the fuck? I still don't get why that little snippet was removed from the theatrical. Because I remember,
it was in the trailer.
It was in the trailer. It's a beautiful shot, and it's like I remember. I think that was when I really was like, "Fuck this movie." When I saw it first, because it was like all of a sudden you see Clark, and then you just hear the noises in the background go, and all of a sudden he turns around and they're there, and I'm like, "What the fuck? You just added some," and all of a sudden they're there. Like what is that? It was a beautiful fucking shot that lasted 2.5 seconds.
Oh no!
But here two things that go with that, Dave. One, because granted, I haven't seen this movie in 3 years, but I don't even remember him looking at the Heroes Park monument and seeing the "if you seek his monument, look around you." No, because what does he do? He looks around him, and what does he see? The Justice League. If you seek his monument, people who were, I mean, they came together because of him.
God, it's gonna be so good to see that scene.
And then secondly, something else that was coming to me, and I feel like as I was talking, I completely lost the train of thought of where I was going. Damn the scotch. But oh no, I remember what it was. But the scene that we knew was fucked with when you have Aquaman, Wonder Woman, and Cyborg, the "shall we" scene that in the movie gets turned ugly red and it's just Wonder Woman. But when we see the teaser today, it's back to being all three of them. But the scene is still altered because now there's like smoke and there's like fire or energy, like yellowy. Yeah. Like I'm trying to figure out, is this like energy or is this battle damage?
Yeah.
But it's interesting to say, oh, like they've done a few more passes on adding more layers.
Well, when she lands, she actually makes like an indentation into the ground. Like you see like a broken gravel and it has like dust. Yeah, watch it again, Chris. There's like broken gravel now. Yeah, watch it right now. Yeah, like you said, I mean, just imagine what that scene's gonna be like without the whole, I mean, I'm wondering, is Batman even a part of that scene at all? Obviously, and it's kind of funny too. I think somebody made a stink about it too on the because everybody when everybody had their posts about Batfleck returning, they had that shot of him, standing there. In Justice
League. Fire in the back? Sam Parker. Yeah, I'll fucking call that dude out. Yeah.
Sam Parker and
Garza. He thinks that's a fucking Zack Snyder shot. Like, that looks so fucking awkward and it looks so weird in the background. Yeah. I'm like,
but everybody uses that Batfleck shot.
But okay, let's think about logistically. They just came from Star Labs from the Resurrection. Yeah. One thing would question. But once again, we know the Heroes Park fight is so much longer and so much more involved than what we saw because there's supposed to be the tanks and Mark McClure there is the police officer.
Sam Benjamin,
right? All that stuff.
Green Lanterns there? What?
So,
I said
like this.
So you've got to know that when the resurrection happens, Batman is still in the scout ship.
Yeah.
Now, maybe he gets out there after however long of a battle sequence that actually ends up being, but he's not going to show up, magically, and Alfred's not going to be driving Lois there in a car.
Fuck
no,
big guns.
Especially big guns. No, that's not going to happen.
He was driving Uber in this one, by the way, just so you know.
The big gun.
The big guns. I hate that. I hate that so much. I fucking hate that. She went from the key to the big guns. I mean, good Lord, man. But that's, I mean, it's going to be nice to see that, and especially in Snyder's color palette too. I mean, especially when you have the Flash running at him and, Clark looks back at him, and we know that's Snyder stuff, but it's going to look like how, I mean, look at how gorgeous that, in the Speed Force with his color.
I want to hear the music, the themes, each character's themes.
Yeah, you're not going to hear that.
What are they going to hear?
Not going to hear the John Williams
little
interrupted theme.
What were you going to say, Garza?
Well, I was going to say, can I say, am I allowed to speak on my thoughts?
No,
not at all. Just kidding. Go ahead.
No, don't kid.
Go ahead.
Actually, I was waiting for Steven to say, go ahead, man.
Well, I think Tim has a really good point.
If he was going to say anything, I'd say, fuck it. So what I think is actually going to happen is we will see Steppenwolf. We'll see the Lanterns, no Kryptonians. We'll see Desaad because that's obviously that's a big thing. So that means we're going to see Apocalypse, which means we're probably going to end it on Darkseid. Not necessarily a full reveal, but we're going to see something. Like I think Matt mentioned, the eyes. That could be something that could literally be done and made for a split second that could be touched up on, like, the glass breaking with the Flash. That scene leads into him saving Iris, and yet the him going through the glass was only touched up for that trailer.
Or like what would it be like going through a boom tube? Like the camera's just going through the boom tube, and the eyes just start lighting up as it goes through.
You know what? I would love to hear Ray Porter's voice. Like, what does Ray Porter's voice actually sound like?
What if they show him like stepping out, and they show him like just like his hands behind his back, and they show just his arms crossed behind his back? That will be
ending on Ray Porter, Darkseid. The eyes, it cuts. Like, dude, you only need a few seconds. You're not trying to show him in motion. You're not needing anything particular. And to have that, and Steppenwolf with the OG design, to have him basically showing that the league is not really into we're just going to beat him up and he's going to get transported and that's it. We saved the day. Hurrah. Like, fuck no, dude. Like, this is an adult fucking content. of a trailer, and I think having Junkee XL music with it is going to improve it. Hopefully, it's not. I know you guys were all talking about the come together thing. I mean, I enjoyed it, but dude, when I put War Pigs, the Ozzy Osbourne fucking War Pigs track in Justice League, like, dude, that fucking rocks out more than Come Together. I'm sorry.
Yeah. But the only drawback I think is if of course we would love to see like Darkseid in that trailer. The only thing is though, he's not the villain of this.
Well, I don't mean. I'm sorry.
That's the only.
I don't think we're gonna see much of him.
I mean, like him becoming Darkseid, like the end of the history lesson. Like,
yeah, it's just that's the only thing that I like kind of worry about. And that's the thing that he has to consider. And when they're editing is like they have to consider that it's like, hey, we can't just say like, oh yeah, Darkseid is going to be the ultimate baddie in this movie / series, whatever the It's Steppenwolf. It is Steppenwolf. But they're going to have to hint it a little bit because even with the promotion for DC Fandom, they show that shot of the history lesson, and there is Mr. Your ass, just going,
But here's the thing, though. They already teased. HBO Max already teased Darkseid in the fucking first thing that we saw with Wonder Woman.
But really, to Dave's point, I think the biggest problem is like if you make this big tease about him and show a bunch of them, then and there's not much more in the film, I think that's kind of a problem. So that's
the issue.
Yeah, so that's the issue. I don't think we're going to see a whole lot of Darkseid. I think we'll hear him.
I don't think we will.
We may get a view of his face, and we'll see the one shot from the history lesson. But I don't think we're gonna see much more.
Well, we're gonna see him in the history lesson, dude. Imagine.
I know, but we've already seen that. We've already seen that image. Like,
but you got those idiots out there like, oh, he looks puny. He doesn't look like Darkseid. Just you need to get that one solidifying shot. I feel like just the eyes or the chest.
Yeah, think about the shots of Steppenwolf that you saw from the history lesson, and remember that that's supposed to be Darkseid, like unleashing the anti-life equation and stuff like that. So there were shots of Darkseid like hitting the axe or staff or whatever he's got on the ground and setting that up. Or also like I think I've always thought it's been a good comparison to use Sauron from like Lord of the Rings. I don't really remember like Fellowship of the Ring trailers, but the idea of using him kind of in that capacity in the trailer, that so long as it's clear that like he is a looming threat and Steppenwolf is like an enforcer, which is like the actual relationship there. I don't think it's wrong to have a Darkseid teaser, like to end the teaser with like Darkseid saying something to Steppenwolf, so long as it's clear that like we're afraid of Steppenwolf because of Darkseid.
Yeah. Okay.
By the way, I want to answer Jose's question. Yes, Jose, I've been holding a baby this entire time.
So I just want to make sure that everybody's on
9 people here.
Every fucking person here that's involved in this is on record and saying that Darkseid's not going to be involved, quote unquote. He's not going to be shown. And me and Steven are on the record saying, yeah, it's probably going to get shown. I just want to say that.
I didn't say the one that came up with it, asshole.
We're doing that? We're doing this now?
Fuck all you guys, okay?
No. I'm saying like
I didn't say anything.
Garza, I'm gonna have to leave Garza and go get something to drink. you're starting to wear on me, buddy. You're breaking me down.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, to
I'm getting a drink.
To end, there you go. To end it with like a full-on Darkseid tease, I think what Steven said is actually perfect. With you have the voice of him talking. So then, like you said, he's like we know that Steppenwolf is the main villain, but there's somebody backing him up. Yeah. And just to like get everybody like a little nerd boner, holy shit, it's Darkseid, the ultimate Justice League baddie. Yeah. So maybe, hopefully, it's something like that. I think if they tease it too much, like what Tim was saying was just, he's not in it that much, so we don't want to show too much of him. Maybe not what he looks like in his full form when he's full on Darkseid. Show him in the history lesson when he's young Darkseid, and that's it. But then we can hear that Ray Porter voice because he knows. He knows that all his fans want to hear that. Okay, how many times has Ray Porter been on a live stream, been interviewed? Even when I interviewed him, it's like, "What does your voice sound like?" And he's not going to tell you what it sounds like. But we've heard his voice in very different fashions. I mean, we know that Ray Porter. I would love that guy to narrate anything and everything. He's got that really great voice, and they're going to manipulate it a little bit just to make it sound just a little bit more menacing, just a little bit. I mean, I'm sure they did that with Karen Hines' voice too, make it a little more growly or whatever the hell, I don't know, but yeah, just have the voice, not full on. Let's not see what he looks like at the end when they see him through that boom tube. I don't want to see that. I want to wait till I see.
Yeah,
that.
Well,
Yeah.
even with
to me, I think that's going to be the big reveal.
Yeah.
Even with the No Lanterns thing, we didn't see Steppenwolf talking about that. Like we just heard. Like,
yeah, let's have some of that, but we can like, what was that voice? Was that him? You know, have everybody start questioning, and that'll blow up the fucking timeline. Everybody's like, wait a minute, did you hear that voice? That wasn't Kieran Hines.
Yeah.
Have everybody start like flipping out about that. That's what
I think the Darkseid storyboard would be a really good trailer tease. Because something that we already know
like
about.
sitting on a throne, yeah.
Well, he's sitting on the throne, but also it's something that doesn't necessarily, because it's removed from the same timeline as the movie, and in the storyboard we see some kind of a unity or mass decimation occur, and that'd be a really cool thing to show in the trailer if they have like those VFX done, because that's a really impressive and like dramatic shot that you can show, and it's something that wasn't in the original movie, but it also teases Darkseid without like a consequence of major spoilers or giving the wrong impression or anything like that, and it's something that we've already seen that's like out there. So I think that's a really smart kind of way to tease that without giving any more away, without giving the wrong impression about what's up with Darkseid. It also makes the nightmare more interesting.
No. My question is, you know how Zack Snyder, and I think Dave, your source also had that information where he had a trailer ready.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm wondering, is he going back to that same trailer and it's in color now with effects, or is he making something else entirely?
I don't know.
I got my opinion.
Go ahead, Tim.
Well, I think whatever that trailer was, that was back in that kind of like still compromised era.
Yeah.
And I feel like I feel like everything that you've seen Zach do, all the different teases that he's done, you know, whether or not he thought, you know, it would ever eventually lead to his director's cut, but everything he was doing over the last couple of years has been for, you know, it's been with a purpose. And I know he hasn't, like, you know, he said he has not seen the film, and but he surely knows details. Like, people have told him things, right?
Oh, of course.
And so he's going to refute those things. And so that, to me, in my book, that's like repurposing that trailer to make sure he's saying, no, this is not that bullshit Justice League.
Yeah.
This is Zack Snyder's Justice League. Like,
I love
that's
that
what
comment.
he's going to do.
I love that comment, and I think Matt, you guys posted it where it's like somebody literally asked, "Does Superman ask Batman, do you bleed?" And he goes, "That makes absolutely no sense." I just wish he said absolutely no fucking sense.
Yeah. Dude, you should have seen.
Well,
dude,
and you know when Zach, I mean, he's got a million comments he can respond to.
Yeah.
When he sees that one, he goes, "Oh yeah, someone's told me about that scene. I'm commenting on that one. I'm going to make this clear. That bullshit doesn't happen in my film."
Dude, you should have seen some of the quote tweets we got on that one. Like, those some of them were gold, because like, one was like, "What? Everybody loved the theatrical cut. I don't know why everybody's shitting on it now."
What?
That was one of them.
Oh my God.
No.
The box offices differ. Yeah.
Because it's cool to shit on the theatrical cut. Everybody's doing it now, and I was just like, I just left that one alone. I sent it to Shane. I was like, just laughing. I was like, Jesus Christ, dude. And there was a couple other ones that were great. Like, some people were like, "Yeah, you know, that makes sense. I'm pretty sure that wasn't a Snyder cut." I'm like, what? That's why I put the face with it. I'm like, you kidding me? You didn't you didn't think you really thought that was a Snyder shot? Like, even if the dialogue doesn't make sense, like, just the fact that they're zoomed in on his face.
Even the way that Cavill says it, he goes, "Do you bleed?" He really sounds out like all the fucking syllables.
Because all the tape and shit's like,
yes, it's like, "Do you bleed?" It's just like,
So, and the reason Snyder was like, that makes no sense, is because the whole purpose of that line is Batman is taunting Superman's reputation as a god.
Yes. And
why would Superman ask? Yes, Batman bleeds. He's a human. That's the whole fucking point of that line. Like,
right.
But you had to throw that line in there, Steven. If you don't throw that line in there, how are you going to do like, "Oh yeah, something's definitely bleeding"? I mean,
I know.
Don't do it.
Filmmaking 101, Steven.
Do not bring that up.
Oh, I want to bring this up, guys.
I actually thought that might be a Snyder line, though. We'll have to wait and see.
It could be. I think what's going to be so amazing about this thing, and there's probably not too many examples in the history of filmmaking and all that, but you're going to have two fully formed films that there's going to be no better example out there to really show people just how good of a filmmaker Zack Snyder is, because people are going to look at this product and they're going to say, well, what was this other film? Let's, I thought I remember seeing that film and liking it. They're going to go back and watch it and they're going to look at it and go, oh my God, this is such crap. I think there's going to be so much more appreciation for Zack Snyder ultimately as a filmmaker, just because of this opportunity to really directly compare a hack filmmaker like Joss Whedon and then, somebody that can just put out such incredible visuals as Zack,
That is very true, because one of the things that Zack Snyder, it is what it is. And a lot of people do not like his style. But now we're gonna have a version of the same movie where another director, where he was successful creating a Marvel team up movie, and with this, and now he's gonna do his version, which was supposed to be the real version, and he's gonna run circles around it, and people are going to take more notice, like, wait, this is a really good director who actually ran circles around this guy who actually directed two superhero team up what are they, the Avengers movies. So that's
you were trying to avoid saying
yeah, like, who wants to say that? Take a drink.
And as I said earlier, the really fascinating part about it to me is that it's not really fair in a lot of ways to compare like two directors.
Yeah.
Because I mean, there are ways in which you can compare them, but in so many comparisons that we like to do, like there's no equivalent way to compare them. Like to say like one director is better than another one, you're comparing two different movies, two different scripts, two different teams. And the crazy thing with the Snyder Cut is it's like the closest you have to having like an actual sample group or a control group to be able to say, like, given the exact same resources.
Yeah, I've always wanted to be like, what would it be like if like you had two, like a Tarantino and a Fincher direct like the same fucking
same
script.
movie.
Yeah, what would that be like? It would be two different movies.
Right.
Something
this is the only example I can think of.
Yeah.
The closest I can come, the best I can come to is did any of you see the Mel Gibson movie Payback?
Yes. No. Long time ago.
Okay. There's actually two versions of that movie, because the theatrical version, they completely rewrote the third act, and Mel Gibson directed the last third of that movie. They replaced the original director. They eventually came out with Payback, the straight up edition, and it's a different color. It's a completely different color palette. It has a completely different third act. It's about as close of a situation I've gotten to as, because you can see the first two halves of the movie and the little edits they made and the different color palette. It goes from like blue to orange. Yeah. And then a completely redone third act where you have what the original director did and then what they had Mel Gibson do and completely reshoot.
Well, another instance too was wasn't that Exorcist prequel also like yes, Paul Schrader did that, and then they were like, fuck this movie, and they redid it completely with like a different director, right? Or something like that. And then they released the Paul Schrader cut, and apparently people liked it better or something like that.
Because it was like Dominion, like they gave it different names.
Yeah, Dominion, that's what it was. Yeah, that was like early 2000s.
Well, even like the Donner cut, Lester cut thing, that's still applicable, because like there's even just some odd changes. Like when Luther escapes from prison, for some reason the Lester cut's during the like almost the day, like there's daylight. In the Donner cut, it's at night, where it kind of makes sense where a hot air balloon could get away from a prison and shit like that. And there's just the dialogue difference between the Laura, damn, it's just kicking in. The Laura, between that and Kala, or god damn it. Jor-El, thank you. I'm struggling with my L's right now.
Yeah.
So the dialogue comparison between the Jor-El and Laura, comparing what the story's supposed to be anyway there, and also the comparison of Margot Kidder's Lois Lane trying to figure out figuring out that Clark is Superman. So, I mean, those are some fundamental differences, because it doesn't have the Eiffel Tower scene and stuff like that. So you can kind of compare that, even though there is Lester scenes in that Donner cut, to kind of make the movie flush out a little bit. I don't know. I always thought that was a good comparison because it does change some things, change some lighting, change some looks and stuff like that, and changes the kind of almost the tone and premise of the movie.
Yeah.
Well,
Can I add one more thing real quick?
Yeah,
Stephen, real quick. So like when I said earlier that it'd be a nice comparison with kind of really showing off some of Zack Snyder's visuals, I really sold it too short there because I mean, one of the criticisms Zack Snyder gets all the time about it is like it's all visual and not, there's no
style, no substance.
Yeah. But the thing is, like, you're gonna see what he was trying to do with these storylines, with him and Chris Terrio and all that. You're gonna actually see it actually play out to actually where it makes sense. And I think it's going to really highlight what Zack's able to do kind of as a storyteller as well. And so I think that's going to be another great comparison that we're going to have with this.
Well, I'm curious how the Codex plays in the whole resurrection of Superman. I mean, Codex.
Talking about the Codex, have you seen that? I think I posted a pin.
Yeah, there's that interview with
that interview. The way that he just breaks down what the Codex, where it comes from, how it came to be, where it's located, why it has the marks. I mean, he goes down to every single little detail. Yeah. So to say that he's a bad director, I mean, a good director will take the time to add this little nuance to the movie, and just the fact that he does those things, he tells me that he's very invested in the movie and knows exactly what he's trying to convey in the movie.
And Zack, with more than anyone else that I know, not only with obviously you have Justice League and what Whedon did to it for comparison, but also you've always had the look, I fixed this scene by upping the saturation, or there's all these I fixed the Snyder scene by increasing the brightness, increasing the saturation.
Right. Oh, we got to zoom on this scene.
All of the fan-produced stuff. All of the non-professional produced stuff is super shoddy because you don't have the same resources. So simply boosting the saturation doesn't work. Simply adding brightness doesn't that's not how it would be done professionally if you were to make a brighter version of that scene. And even in the fan edits, there's been some great Snyder Cut fan edits, but you see what they do is they take the theatrical cut footage and then they reduce the saturation, they increase the contrast, and they get something that's a little bit less offensive than what was in the theatrical cut. But when what Snyder is working with, the raw footage that is output is a much more bland color palette, which gives them the ability to influence that. There's more color data in that to work with. Whereas if you're going to do a recoloring from whatever is in the theatrical cut, you're working with already impacted colors. And so you're not going to get the same depth or range or saturation or whatever when you play with it. And so you can see from these trailers, especially the one of Superman in Heroes Park, that color palette looks straight that's so much more dynamic than any fan edited color. And so when you talk about Zack Snyder and you're like Tim was saying, you're going to have these two side by side of look, they took the exact same footage. And this is what Joss Whedon did with the color, and this is what Zack Snyder did with the color. Now, please look me in the eye and tell me again that Zack Snyder's movies are colorless and bland and whatever, because you're going to be and I'm sure people will say that the Whedon one looks better, but you're going to literally have not a fan produced, I tweaked the colors from the theatrical cut, but working from raw footage. All the Whedon stuff is orange and pink. It's it's like a salmon filter is put over everything.
Salmon.
It's
Oh man, we're gonna have some epic side by sides.
Yeah. Go ahead, Chris. What's up?
The frustrating thing is that we appreciate Zack Snyder's work and his his art, and there's always those guys who just can't get past their ideas for Superman, their ideas for what Batman is.
Which is usually what Snyder had.
Yeah, so frustrating to get through that and still hear that. And you're just look at the damn film.
I know. When they start listing things oh, I want my Superman to do this or this, I'm like, that's fucking Man of Steel, jackass. Watch it again.
Seriously.
Yeah, it's what the hell? You just named off everything that was in Man of Steel and BVS. It's yeah, so I see exactly what you're saying.
No, bro, they want the Donner, the red trunks.
Yeah, they want him to rescue kittens from trees.
Yeah,
they think they want it anyway.
They don't, because if they got that, well, they kind of got that with Superman Returns. right?
Yeah, and that sucked big
Yeah.
time. I walked out of the fucking movie theater.
I will admit there's some good elements like that plane sequence. I like
the plane sequence is good.
was-
Like,
yeah.
really good.
yeah, I mean,
It's really good. Like the flying and everything, they really nailed that pretty damn well. But there's story elements in there. Where I'm
Yeah.
like, what the fuck? I'm like,
It was
okay.
Days of Our Life too much.
Yeah, a little
It was
bit.
just-
A little taste of our life. I like that.
And a little
I'm gonna
creepy.
use that. Yeah,
Yeah.
a little
Yeah.
creepy. Yeah. But I mean, Brandon Ruth, he did a great
He's a
job. I mean,
deadbeat.
Yeah.
He's a deadbeat. Doesn't pay fucking child support. Nothing
I
like
know.
that. Fucking, that's my
Showed up
Superman.
5 years
Fucking
later.
asshole. Yeah, I mean, it was a little, it was a tough pill to swallow when like everybody's like, "Oh my God, Clark, you're back," and oh, Superman's back too. Oh my God, it's like
That's another thing I'm
Like
curious
fucking-
about Justice League.
yes.
He would have.
They buried Clark. I still want the actual
Yes.
in-story explanation for how they, because even in the comics, when Dan Jurgens and Jerry Ordway and all those people did it, the whole point was Clark was supposed to be lost in the wreckage with like other Metropolians during the Doomsday fight, and he just survived that whole time. They put Clark in the ground. I want this. I'm with you, Matt. I want to know how they explain that.
I hope. I mean, listen. I don't think that Zack will do something like that, but I hope he doesn't do the generic amnesia shit that that you do with movies. Yeah, like he had
I think him and
amnesia.
Terry will probably figured out something. I don't know.
I'm sure.
I think maybe.
I mean, it's in the paper. I don't know.
Maybe he's gonna out him.
It's in the paper. So I mean, you gonna turn back time? You
The
know,
only- if I can turn back time.
And
No,
that,
the only thing that was like interesting about the obituary, and then they have Clark's like headshot. I'm like, is anybody gonna look at that and go like, "Fucker looks like Superman"? With the
yeah, but the thing, like he died right on BBS, and then you see him like walking away on the Last of Justice League.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, you didn't explain how he went back to his job and say, "Hey, by the way, I didn't fucking die."
Why is he wearing a trench coat on this great summer day? Yeah, that's
yeah. Well, we know that was probably like something that they wanted in there. They wanted that iconic shirt rip and blah blah blah. So we know that was probably a compromise, and that's probably going to show up. That was supposed to show up, in like part 3, if anything. So
that will not be in this film.
So I'm kind of wondering, like in this, in the Snyder cut, in whatever the hell we're, what we're getting, are they even going to mention anything about Clark returning to civilization in this one, or is that going to be in the next season part?
I
Whatever.
want to say, what if they don't?
Yes,
Like, what
exactly.
What if they out him?
They just leave it out.
What if they out him?
Farm.
If they are sticking to what Snyder was originally doing, then it's in there.
Yeah, I mean, you still have that scene at the farm
At the end, that addressed that.
It's got a lot of bathtub scenes to make
Oh
up.
yeah. Well, yeah. Clark.
Yeah, I mean that's still going to fit in the story. So
because there is the farm scene, but at the same time, what always was curious about the farm scene, you got Bruce and you got Clark there. He's not wearing his glasses. It's fucking Superman in a fucking flannel.
Sure.
There's movers around everywhere. None of those guys are like carrying a fucking a china cabinet going. That guy looks like fucking Superman.
Well, it's Smallville. They probably already know anyway, right?
Huh?
Everyone is
know it, and they're just keeping it a secret.
Yeah.
Well, remember the cop in Man of Steel when she's running up, Clark, and he's standing there in his costume.
Well, I always like
Smallville.
I'm about to say I always loved the theory, and I think Zach even hinted at it, that pretty much everyone in Smallville knew, and they just kept
that's always
their
been
mouth shut.
in the mythology. That's always been one of the most
they
insulting
knew
things that that Lois Lane cannot figure out that this guy is Superman.
And that's what I loved about Man of Steel is the fact that she knew right away.
Right away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
again, empowering her.
Yeah.
But if everybody knows him in Smallville and the movers show up in his house, I'm like, wait, what the fuck, dude? Ain't you Superman? Carry this shit inside. You'll be done in 2 seconds.
Not breaking my back.
Yeah.
Very true.
See, that's why people don't think he's a hero. He's not helping the little guy,
Yeah.
Right. He's got
And
this
there you
heavy
go. You got
China
your-
set.
Yep.
I know. You got Bruce Wayne doing what he does best. He bought the bank.
They're
He bought
probably-
the bank.
Bruce was probably paying him like $100 an hour, so they better do it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put it past Bruce.
Yeah.
Let me put it this way. That
I
ending had to have been Jeff Johns' rewrite. Like,
think
for
so?
real. Because
What part?
You could be right. You could be right.
because of the fact that you had the reshoot of Flash going, I got a job, right? That's a reshoot. I know it's a reshoot. I've broken that down. It's a reshoot. We have Wonder Woman doing whatever she's doing is a reshoot. We have Cyborg that's a reshoot. We have basically Ben Affleck and Henry Cavill, like you guys mentioned, doesn't have his glasses on. Like that looks like a.
And another thing too.
Let me just write this real quick. Here, don't worry. Oh, we didn't have your glasses. Sorry. Oh, fuck it. Nobody's gonna.
Well, but to the point though, if we go back to even Man of Steel, remember the glasses never showed up until Clark went to Metropolis. He didn't wear glasses in Smallville.
Yeah, true.
Right. But I get that. But at the same time, though, it's still like it's part of Superman. Like it's part of the classic. Like, hey, if he's not in his Superman suit, he's gonna be in glasses. It's just him, unless he's alone with Lois.
Another thing too about Bruce, like during that whole move, I mean, he's wearing almost like a fucking he's not wearing moving clothes, by the way. And he's like helping like stuff out of the U-Haul, and it's like he's still like got a fucking.
It's so weird that the two strong people there aren't even doing anything. They're just like, "Hey, what's up? I'm glad you're here." How the fuck did Bruce get there? What the fuck is Bruce doing in goddamn the middle of the country? Right? I mean,
giving him a business card, I guess.
Yeah. And that's
how many of you believe that the movie or series
rewrite because he went, you know what? We got to end this on a high note, and guess what? Let's just go ahead and say that Bruce just bought the bank. You know what? Nobody's gonna care about why he bought the bank. Like, it's just one house. Who cares? And we'll go ahead and we'll throw that line in there to make it be very comical. You know what I mean? Like very like lighthearted, and it's like, dude, what?
Yeah, it could be. It could be like, I mean, everybody thought like, you know, like even I was like, well, the you talked to Fish line, that was a Snyder line, but didn't take into consideration that rewrites were already happening as Snyder was filming. So yeah, I don't know.
What were you gonna say, Chris?
Oh no, I was just saying that. How many of us think that the series or movie is going to end on a dour note?
Define dour.
It's going to end. It's going to end with an oh shit.
Yeah,
that I believe.
Yeah,
I don't think it's going to end with like the moving back into the farm and
not at all. Not at all.
I don't think that scene might not even be in it at all. It just almost seems like it's a little out of place.
Well, the question is, if it does in that oh shit moment, is because Zack Snyder intended that to begin with initially, or because he intends to continue telling his story and he had to set it up in a way that people are gonna ask for this sequel to come out.
Yes. Well, I mean, we understand the way it was originally the original 5 film arc,
right?
Like it was going to end with an oh shit moment. So, yeah.
Well, and it was supposed to originally end with the League actually not joining up. I mean, it was supposed to be broken up because Steppenwolf really fucked them up.
Mm-hmm.
So,
which is interesting.
I think it ends nightmare. I think the nightmare sequence,
right,
has got to be how it ends. I mean, to me, it's you kind of tidy up whatever the storyline was that you're doing in the film, and then you have to like say, okay, just when you think this is kind of all wrapped up, there's much bigger, more dire situation coming, and that's kind of how you end it. So. If it's gonna be a series, that's what you do.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting how he actually ends. But because I can't see that farm sequence be like there. It just almost seems a little. It just seems out of place. But then again, who knows? I mean, we're gonna. When we finally see the whole thing and we compare it to Justice League, it's gonna be a lot of fun to actually do that. And I think
the reason why we can't really compare it is because Zach posted a photo of the Wayne Tower, like obviously they go there. Him and Wonder Woman, they show up there. So
there's that scene too. It's like everybody thought that was a reshoot, like because it even seemed like it because Bruce was like, hey, 6 chairs, room for more, and it was like almost like he almost kind of phoned it in a little bit, but at the same time when you look at him, he doesn't look like
Affleck in that scene.
Yeah, what?
It's a reshoot Affleck in that scene. I can't.
You think so? Yeah.
He looks bloated. He looks different.
Green screen, and also look at the if you look at the background, he's posted the picture of Wayne Manor recently on Vero, and the background doesn't, like the walls and the pillars don't match the clearly green screen background from that scene in the movie. The molding is broken in different places. The door, it's different on both sides of the door.
Okay, good.
Oh.
Yeah, because like maybe like, and that's what we were kind of discussing, and I think I even mentioned it in my video too, where it's like there's a version of that scene that Snyder did record or did shoot. That's record, like he's got it on a fucking
record.
Record on his fucking phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know exactly. Yeah. But so maybe he had a version of that where he did say 6 chairs, and that's why he answered that question on Vero, like, oh yeah, it's that. But it was obviously altered and reshot and added with stupid ass Whedon dialogue.
Maybe it didn't have Gal in there. Maybe it was a scene.
Maybe it didn't.
In the middle of the movie or the beginning, Alfred, and he's talking to Alfred what his ideas of.
I like that.
Together.
Hey, dude, are you talking about some like DMs that you've talked with? Because obviously you're the one that fucking speaks to them directly, dude.
Yeah, I know.
Right now?
He doesn't like to talk about
that,
dude. Always asking the questions, man. Trying to get the confirmation. That was it's always funny. Like when that whole thing about the ZS, which was just so stupid.
Asinine.
It was such a stupid back and forth. I couldn't believe how dumb it was. And I still remember too, like when I got that, we all collectively knew, like, no, that means this. And then I went to, my source, and I was like, okay, what exactly does that mean? And I got it explained, and that was like on a Saturday, which was like, what, 2 weeks ago? And I remember just going, okay, I'm going to start educating people in this fucking thread that just keeps on going. And then I went, you know what? I'm not going to. I'm just going to let them go with it. Just going to let them go with it. And they kept going and going. And I just put snarky gifs like, okay, cool. You think it's that. And then all of a sudden,
I was talking confidently about that entire situation. Yeah. And I was pointing out every single thing that meant whatever it meant, right? Yeah. But then I said, I don't know what that ZS means. But yet I'm confident in everything else on the screen.
Yeah.
What the fuck wouldn't I be confident about the ZS? Like, how would I not know what the fuck that means if I knew what I was talking about?
Yeah, that was right? But I just love how Chris just went to the Snyder and said, "Hey,
I was curious." I was like, you know what?
By the way,
I think I'll just ask him. Like, if it's a yes, he'll be like. Usually, when it's something like a yes, he usually says something that's hinting towards a yes
or an emoji.
But for when it's a no, he's just gonna flat out and tell me no. Yeah. And I figured that is just the most simplest thing that he wouldn't mind me sharing.
it was like, yeah, but he didn't say Zoic wasn't working on Steppenwolf for Ayer cut. It was like, what?
It's a whole other can of worms, man. Come on.
That was an all-time low.
Again, really we're going back to the same thing that Steven said at the beginning. Like, people forgot about that shit already. They victory lapping on something else this week. So,
yeah.
So it goes along the line what Steven said earlier, where, you sell all the stocks, get one, that's it, that's all you need. And, you win it. You're making your money. So there's no point on your slide. Continue.
And I'll just add, just literally the last thing I'm going to say, because it's already 3 hours in, and I know
we're about to wrap it up.
Fuck the cultured nerd and like guys. I don't give a fuck. Any of you guys have to say, you guys will never, ever, and I truly mean ever, be right about anything. And I'm on record about saying that. You didn't call Affleck coming out on a Thursday, being announced that he was going to be in Flash. You didn't call about anything, period. Fuck off. I don't want to hear about any of y'all shit being right again. That's me out. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that could go.
Out. He was waiting the whole 3 hours.
He waited. He was quiet like for a good hour and a half.
He's been holding us in the entire vodka stream.
They waited to come on the vodka stream.
Totally, 100%. All right, I think that's a good way to wrap it, I guess, guys.
Just when Scott is coming back.
Just when Scott's coming back.
All right, thanks. We're wrapping this up.
I'm not surprised. I'm really not.
Hey, you had to do your daddy duties. It's fine. It's fine. We get it. Yeah, that's good. It's good stuff.
No hat, no baby.
Finally.
Yes.
Hey, dude, that's very talented, man. I can't believe you did that with a baby.
Yeah, I know.
A baby and scotch in one hand. Geez, that's just fucking skill.
That's very responsible, by the way.
That wasn't milk that baby was eating.
What do you think? How do you think the baby was?
One for you, two for me.
Fingertip on the gums, right? The fingertip on the gums. All right, yeah. Well, let's wrap this thing up. Obviously, always a great time talking to you guys. And tomorrow we're going to be talking on the Real Emotion podcast. We'll all be there.
That's what it's called.
Is that?
Yeah.
I know. I think that's
what are we going to be talking about there? Any predictions?
I don't know.
That culture nerd sucks dick.
That's what I was saying. Matt, for you, I need to answer I need to ask you a hypothetical question.
Uh-oh.
How much do you hate the cultured nerd? that's tomorrow night, right?
Yeah, save that for tomorrow.
Yeah. We need some content for the stream tomorrow. No, but
it's gonna be a stretch tomorrow.
Yeah. No.
You might want to remind everybody what time that one is.
Yeah, when is it, Ben?
10:30 Eastern Standard Time.
Okay, so 7:30.
So time that matters.
So it's pretty much like an hour and a half, an hour after the Batman
panel.
The Batman panels. What time is it?
5:30, I think.
5:30.
5 or 5:30.
Well, that's 5:30 your time. I don't know what the fuck that is.
It's 7:30 my time, 8:30 your time.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I'm central. I don't even know what time it is.
Nobody knows what time it is.
all right.
So that's
10:30 Eastern Standard Time.
So basically, we're getting like a pre-DC fandom or a ZackDome, as we are trying to call it. Try to get that shit. Try to get that shit to trend tomorrow, guys.
Yeah.
Anybody out there? We're gonna try to hashtag ZackDome. Let's try to get that trending. I mean, obviously DC
doing both.
fandom. Yeah, DC fandom's gonna trend no matter what.
Yeah.
Right.
Everybody's gonna talk about it, but let's try to get ZackDome in there too. That'll help greatly. So, anyways, let's go around the horn and promote ourselves. So, get your drinks ready, Mr. Scott McClellan. Go ahead, promote yourself.
Well, of course, I am a co-host and co-founder of the DC Film Squadcast, which can be found at squadcastmedia.com. And, of course, you can always support us at patreon.com/squadcastmedia.
There it is. Mr. John Aaron Garza, go ahead.
My drink is all the way gone, and fuck Lightcast and fuck the culture nerd. I don't want to hear about it again.
Oh, man. All right, Mr. Everett, so you're going to say the same thing?
I second that. Fuck them. But by the way, you can find me, Mr. Everett. Make sure not to miss tomorrow's episode with this fine gentleman over here, and at 10:30 Eastern Standard Time. We might have some surprises, so you never know. Listen, it's gonna be a celebration.
The film Junie.
Yes, the film Junie.
Are you gonna fucking let that go? Are you gonna let that fucking go?
Inside joke, everybody. Inside joke. Nobody really knows what the fuck we're talking about, but there was a little bit of a typo that happened in something. But yeah, we'll leave it at that.
I just wanted to see his face this time. I want to see.
No,
text is not funny.
Hey, at least it's just not the bourbon steam like the vodka.
Or your fucking green shirt on.
I know. Oh yeah, I know. We all have fuck ups. It's
all right. Fine, I'll leave.
And let's not talk about Dave's typos on the live stream.
Yes, exactly.
Hi, Dave, subscribers.
Anyway, but I think I'll fuck up on spelling all the time.
Yeah, we all do. We're all human. Anyways, go ahead, Matt.
All right, I am Matt from the world famous comic movie Marks. I don't know why I add that, but it sounds kind of cool when you add it.
World famous.
Shane is the co-host. Check out our Patreon at Comic Movie Marks. We do a small, little, tiny channel with ridiculous things. Check us out. Check us out on, I think we're on all social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, OnlyFans, all that stuff. We are on there.
All right, Mr. Chris Long Clinton.
At Ping Pong Flick Show, and for your pretty much daily DC movie updates at this point.
There you go.
I like it.
Okay, Mr. Tim, go ahead.
You can find me on DC Film Squadcast and Squadcast Media. Scott's already plugged our Patreons, but I'll second it. Go check it out. A lot of good content.
And last, but certainly not least, Mr. Stephen Colbert.
Yeah, you can find me on Screen screenrant.com. I'm SM Colbert, and I also co-host the BVS by the Minute podcast, and a number of other podcasts. The only other one that actually has episodes posted is the Justice League by the Minute podcast.
Ooh, that's coming. Yeah.
An update after this weekend.
That's not your alcoholic voice. That's your voice.
Yeah.
It's a little hazy in there.
It is, right?
A little hazy.
Slightly hazy in there. But anyways, guys, I mean, yeah, as the last hour of this, as we got a little more lubricated in our minds, yeah, it got a little bit. But hey, tomorrow's going to be great, and this man's going to be doing some. Yes. All right, guys. So we'll see you tomorrow on the Real in Motion podcast, and we will talk to you guys later.